Session, you may be seated.
All right, over the lunch break, then my understanding is that the defense had an opportunity to review this redacted video and compare it to the transcript. And
recording in progress.
Been advised there's one issue, but I've also been advised that the counsel needs to talk to me before we bring the lawyers in. So is that correct? All right, what are we talking about?
Judge, we received a request for redaction within the last half hour from the transcript, which we agreed to. So we are now recopying the transcript, and also the audio had to be redacted. So when you start the process of redacting an audio, the computer, however that program works, has to render a new version minus the redaction, and that just takes some time, and it's got about 30 minutes left to go. There's just nothing I can do to stop that.
But we do have another matter that we can argue.
Well, let me finish explaining this process. We have redacted this transcript several times leading up to this trial, and these things take lots of hours to do, and it's something that just can't be done quickly like that, and not to be seamless so as the jury knows that there wasn't some type of something else going on. With that said, I'm not exactly sure the other issue that they want to talk about.
Yes, Your Honor. The transcript includes statements by the defendant in regard to their dropping dogs off a log road and abandoning the dogs. We had a motion in limine on this and other issues previously, and the state indicated that if they were going to, they didn't anticipate introducing that type of evidence, but if they did, they'd file a 404B notice. The stepson, Alex, testified, and I'm paraphrasing, that they would take dogs out there and give them to other people. The statement about dropping dogs off, as I argued during the motion in limine, there are people today in society that care so much about dogs that could potentially anger jurors and be prejudicial against our client, and we contend it's just not relevant in this case whether they drop dogs off and abandon them. So that's the reason we're asking that come out.
Specifically, what I have been advised is that on page 125 of the transcript, there is an exchange between Agent Faulkner and Mr. Daniels in which they're talking about a logging road. Agent Faulkner says on line 3, tell us about the logging road. Joe Daniels, the logging road. Agent Boyd, tell us, little Joe, what's the last place you took him? Joe Daniels, I never took him. I went to the logging road like a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't take him with me. Agent Faulkner, well, I'm not talking, I'm just saying in general, and I may have you correct me if I'm wrong, but you had said something about a logging road is a place when you, where you go when you need to think or something, right? Joe Daniels, yeah, I don't ever take anybody with me. Agent Faulkner, okay, that's what I'm talking about. And then here comes the problem. Joe Daniels, yeah, me and Crystal would go down there. We've had some dogs where we've dropped them off, unfortunately, and then I went, to think. Every now and then I would walk around the house trying to cool off. The logging road, which is the place we used to take the dogs to, Agent Faulkner, dogs to let them run or leave them there? Or Joe Daniels, just leave them there. Agent Faulkner, like to get rid of them? Joe Daniels nods his head. That's the truth. That is the truth. I did not take little Joe to the logging road. I didn't take him anywhere out of the house. Now, that's the part, if I'm understanding correctly, that the defense is objecting to. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's the only portion of the redacted transcript that poses any objection to the defense.
The only other portion, by agreement, they're taking it out.
All right.
So this is the only contested portion.
contested portion, the redaction they've asked for today. As I've said, we've been redacting this.
I understand. You've been redacting it on a regular basis.
Yes.
Now, my question would be, is it possible to just omit, for example, on page 125, starting on line 21, where it says, we've had some dogs where we've dropped them off, unfortunately, and just omit that sentence, or even omit that entire paragraph by whiting it out so that you don't have to reprint the entire, can you do that?
Judge, we can white it out.
I'll explain. Let me tell you what my concern is. Under Rule 404B, all of the lawyers know that it's required that I hold a hearing to determine the relevance of that information versus the probative value of that information. And it boils down to if the prejudice to the defendant outweighs any relevance. I understand the relevance would be to show the familiarity with the logging road, which in my opinion, if you omit the portion about the dogs being involved, then it still demonstrates that he has been out to the logging road and he goes there to think. By omitting the reference to the dogs, then you're eliminating an issue of other crimes, wrongs, or acts, which, as Mr. Lockhart points out, and being a dog owner myself, some people would take very harshly the idea of taking dogs and dropping them off. So I would say that the simple solution is allow everything except the sentences that directly say that about the dog to come in. And when you're playing the audio or the video, is it not possible to mute the, it may be simpler to just mute starting on page line 20 when he was talking about he and Crystal would go down there and keep it muted until after he gets to that next section. If you can do that, then we can proceed with this hearing without having to do anything further.
Judge, we can do that.
All right.
We've already done it.
And my ruling is that it's probative as to his familiarity with the logging road area. Now, for whatever reason the state wants to make that a part of their case, then certainly that could be something that the state can do. Taking the dog situation out of it just eliminates any sort of prejudice that might result from that, which has really nothing to do with this case other than something that might show character or whatever, and that is why under the 404B ruling I would have to exclude it. So we will, go ahead, Mr. Crouch.
And we're not even attempting to get the dog or logging road information in. That's not the point. The point is just now receiving this request for redaction delays everything. So I'm not arguing to keep that information in. I'm just informing the court that this redaction needs to be approved by defense and Your Honor before we distribute this transcript to the jury. We'll do it however he wants to do it. We can mute it when he gets to that point, but then a final copy as the exhibit will have to be supplemented at a later time after it can be fully redacted from the audio recording.
Well, in order to, the jury's already sent word they're ready to get started. So, they've been waiting, cooling their heels all morning, it seems like. And what I'd like to do is to go ahead and allow this evidence to be presented to the jury because it is several hours. And if we can mute it, then you can, by agreement and by order of this court, you can replace the video that we're playing that you're having to mute with one that has been properly redacted to remove that. The jury would only be able to view that video again if they have questions by coming back into open court and doing it that way, and then by that time perhaps you've got your redacted video. The transcripts are a different matter, and how long would it take to remove the transcript section that we're talking about? It would just essentially be whiting out those pages, those sentences. How many, you're going to have a copy for each one of them? Have they already been printed up? All right, so you're...
And the redactions that we did during this last hour, so, I wish I could give you an exact time, 15 minutes, 20, if you want us to white it out, if you want us to literally take a pair of scissors and cut it out, that's even quicker.
Whatever's quickest. That's my preference, is whatever's the quickest way to proceed would be my suggestion. So you tell me what the quickest way is. Is there anything, do you have a short witness that we can take up while that's taking place to accomplish as much as possible?
Our next two
Agent Boyd, is it necessary for him to go directly into the admission of the confession, or do you have other questions to ask beyond that?
We have a few other questions.
Why don't we do this? Let's let you make sure that your office knows where we are about the redactions. Go ahead and put Agent Boyd back on the stands and accomplish as much as we can with that, and hopefully by that time you'll have the transcripts ready and we can proceed directly into it without having to take another recess.
Quite frankly, Judge, I paused at the point with Agent Boyd, which I was about to play the recording. So, yeah, if you want me to kill some time, I can kill some time. I can always talk. But it's honestly...
Killing time is not my idea, not my purpose.
I'm being very sincere. I mean, we're ready to play this audio. I mean, that's the next phase. We're trying to be chronological in how things happened. I mean...
And I don't want to prevent you from doing that, but I think we need to try to get the transcripts. What's the quickest way to get the transcript printed with that last redaction I've ordered?
Cut it out. Scissors, we can have that in 15 minutes.
All right, let's start cutting. So you need about 15 minutes.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to step back and explain to the jury that we've got another 15 minutes before we can bring them in, but once we start, we're going to go, if necessary, late into the evening tonight to try to accomplish as much as possible. So we will be in recess while the cutting takes place.
All rise. Court is back in session. You may be seated.
We have a status update.
Judge, we have the transcripts ready to go. We are at what percent?
95.4.
Recording in progress.
Do what?
95.4% finished.
So, Judge, here's the issue. We're unable to play a video in this process. It has to complete. So, if you go back to the original video, it is completely chock full of references to the polygraph, and you just can't play it. I mean, we're going to have to wait until this runs another 5%.
How long is it taking to get 5%?
I should be completely finished within 10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right, then let's at least let's spend the next 10 minutes while that's accomplishing something. How long do we anticipate Agent Boyd and this confession? I think you said it's a couple of hours on this. Is that correct? This confession video.
2.5 hours.
All right, 2.5 hours. All right, I've told the jurors to make sure they had a restroom break before we call them back in here, because my intention was to play that completely through to the end. And then after that, how long do you expect it to take with the remainder of your direct examination of Agent Boyd?
15 minutes.
All right. So now we're at 2 hours and 45 minutes. All right. Cross-examination of Agent Boyd, just a time frame.
How long will it take to process?
I'm trying to get a time frame. They've given me about 2 hours and 45 minutes for the video plus the remaining questions for Agent Boyd. I'm trying to get an idea how long you expect it to cross.
No more than an hour.
An hour. So now we're at 3 hours and 45 minutes. How many other witnesses do you have planned for today?
2 more.
All right. Just ballpark about how.
The first, about an hour. The second, maybe 30 minutes, just for direct.
All right. The jurors indicated they would like to go ahead and, even if it meant staying late today, to try to accomplish as much as we could. So I'm expecting that when we finish with Agent Boyd and you finish your follow-up questions and we do the cross, that we'll go ahead and we might take a break at that point, because that'll have been about 3 hours, and we'll let them have a break, and then we'll bring them back and we'll finish your other two witnesses, however late that is. What about food for the jurors for tonight?
I haven't even attempted to talk to them about any more food.
Judge,
I need to though before they come in.
if it helps at all, because of some agreements that we've made with the state, we've been able to cull many witnesses. With the state, we think we'll finish our proof either Thursday night or Friday morning.
All right, so right now you're saying that your proof will be finished Thursday night or Friday?
Yes.
All right. And then the defense will start, again, not nailing you down. Do you expect you may call some witnesses, Mr. Mitchell or Mr. Lockhart or Mr. Taylor?
I believe we will call witnesses.
All right. Any idea how long it'll take you to finish yours? We're trying to get an idea to have the final charge ready. Day, two?
Probably 2 would be the longest.
All right. So at this point, we're looking at possibly having the proof finished by Saturday.
Possibly.
All right.
I think that's it.
And Judge, you've been a trial lawyer a long time.
Now, wait a minute.
Let me rephrase, a really long time.
I think somehow that's a backhanded insult with a compliment wrapped around it. I'm not sure. So,
Well, the point I'm going to make is we have some witnesses that are being flown into town, so, you know, if a flight gets delayed or something, I mean, that could bump it a couple hours, but other than that, I mean, we plan on finishing Thursday night or Friday morning.
all right. We'll hopefully accomplish that. Is there, are you done?
Yes, sir. Just finished.
All right, let's bring the jury on then. Good.
I need to know how late you're going so I know where to do this.
Well, right now, we're looking at 6:30 or 7, if I'm understanding correctly. We're about 4 hours for Agent Boyd plus cross-examination. Well, let me make sure we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes, roughly. It's 2.5 hour video, 15 minutes follow-up. An hour cross is now 3 hours and 45 minutes, so we'll roughly round it off to 4 hours.
4, so that would make us 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock,
5:30.
and then we've got 2 other witnesses we want to accomplish, so we're looking at 6:30 or 7 probably.
Well, I'll have to wait till they take break to talk to them.
No, you don't. We'll talk to them.
Deputy James?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. Once again, I apologize for the extended delay. As I explained to you earlier, that there's some changes to that were made to a transcript, a stack of transcripts that you're about to be handed. And you may find that there are pages where there are sections that are cut out. That was at my instruction. Don't worry about what was in there. I have ruled that it's not admissible and would only distract from your consideration of the other evidence. Second thing is, I want to talk with you just briefly. This is a tape that's going to last about, a videotape that you're going to follow along with the transcripts. It's going to last about 2.5 hours. We'll have some follow-up questions, I'm told, of Agent Boyd when he returns to the stand that will be about 15 minutes. We expect that there'll be a follow-up cross-examination of about roughly an hour. And that's going to put us at about 4 hours, and then we will probably take a break. And then there are 2 other witnesses that roughly maybe an hour to an hour and a half for both of those to get them in, which would put us at 6:30 or 7 tonight. Now, the question, our clerk always has to worry about getting you all food and fed. Are you okay to go until 6:30 or 7 to accomplish all of these witnesses? I know you'd like to get as much done as we can. So when we take that break at 5, what we'll do is let you talk to Ms. Lewis about where you want to eat or what you want to have in the way of food for your dinner, but you won't be eating until after we finish this. Does everybody understand that? Have they tried the Jonas pizza yet?
Oh, yes, that's their lunch more.
Oh, okay. I was going to say just order a bunch of pizzas and everybody likes pizza. All right. Then we're going to go ahead. We have everything now ready, so we're ready to proceed with this playing of this video. General, you want to have Agent Boyd return to the stand? Agent Boyd, I would remind you that you remain under oath.
Agent Boyd, we left off and I was asking you a few questions about an interview that was conducted with the defendant. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I had asked if you had, if the defendant was Mirandized prior to the interview.
Yes, sir.
And Agent, can you identify this document, please?
Yes, sir, I can.
And what is that?
This is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Warnings as to Constitutional Rights that was signed by Joseph Daniels and witnessed by Ronnie Faulkner on April 6, 2018,
And what time was that?
approximately 3:29 p.m.
Thank you. And I'll move that as the next exhibit, please.
Well, there's 161.
And going back to the recorded interview, there's been a copy of that made and placed in your care and custody, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And Your Honor, we're now going to play the interview. If we can have the transcripts published to the jury.
Yes, if you will, please pass those to the jurors. And ladies and gentlemen, as I explained to you, this transcript may start at an odd-numbered page. It may also contain pages that skip or sections that are omitted. That's because I have instructed these attorneys to omit certain sections that, in my opinion, are not relevant and therefore should not be considered. So. I have the original, but this is the copy of the redacted. Thank you.
Going on, Mr. Daniels, how you doing? I said, I don't think Joseph has a problem with me. He's like, no. Okay. You're in the capable hands of Mr. Ronnie? Okay. Okay. And do you go by Joe or Joe? Joe. Joe? Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna be sure. I'm just gonna close this for privacy.
Okay, okay. I'm just, I got all sorts of emotions and.
Yeah, I know there's a lot going on, and we're gonna talk for a while before we get into this, okay? And try to help you explain all this to you, and with Joe, I know he told you, but I'm Ronnie Faulkner, I'm a special agent for TPI.
Okay.
And, first off, Joe, we're sorry for all this is going on, and what you've seen, there's a lot of people out there trying to help find, and y'all call him Little Joe?
Baby Joe, Joe, Little Joe, just,
Okay.
it just depends on, our mood sometimes. Like, hey, Baby Joe, come here, or hey, Little Joe, or hey, Joe, Joe.
Okay.
So,
Well, since you're Joe, I've heard a lot of people call him Little Joe. Is it okay if we refer to him as Little Joe? You'll
Yeah,
know what I'm talking
yeah.
about then, right? Okay. All right. I've got, as we're talking, Joe, you'll see me filling out paperwork and stuff like that, and just try to ignore that because I've got to do reports and stuff like that, so don't think you can understand something wrong, Joe. But, have you gotten any rest at all?
Well, I got some last night. The last 2 days, not really.
Just kind of going?
Yeah, I was running on adrenaline and caffeine most of the time, trying to figure out, what happened. My mom came down from Arkansas, and she's like, I'll stay up in the living room and get you guys up in case, anything comes up. So when I went to sleep, I was out. I didn't wake up at all. So then when I did wake up, I felt, a little better, and I felt hopeless most of the day yesterday.
Yeah.
And I felt I'm gonna be honest, I'm a nervous person. So there's a lot of stuff that is making me extremely nervous recently, like the fact that why would he do what he did?
You're talking about little Joe running out or leaving the house?
Yeah, and people finding, different things and different clues, and it's making me really nervous. Like, can they just please find him?
Yeah.
I just want to hear hey, they found footsteps or
something.
Yeah, or just something to let us know that he's still out there.
Okay.
So
yeah. Well, Joe, I've been in law enforcement. If I make it till next week, I'll have 30 years in law enforcement. So I've been doing this a long time. I worked in a local agency for 21 years, and I've been with TPI for about 9 years now. So I've worked a lot of cases and helped a lot of people, worked a lot of missing child cases like this too, especially since I've been with TPI. And our job is just trying to find out everything we can about what's going on. Okay.
Right. Because I've been honest to everybody as much as possible. Like, I've tried to tell them, what I did when I woke up in the morning.
And I know there may be some little things that you don't exactly remember. It's okay. The questions, Joe, which the reason you're here is this, of course, little Joe's missing, and he's been missing, this is the third day?
Yeah, this is starting day 3. Yeah.
Wednesday morning. Yeah, and then Thursday and today's Friday.
Sometime, between 1 and 5:30, he leaves, got out of the house. So
okay.
Just to know that, hey, there's, I feel sad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Joe, I know we've talked a little bit about the night that little Joe went missing, but just kind of give me a quick summary of what happened that night. Y'all I assume y'all ate supper, got home, they got home from school, y'all ate supper, and about what time did it start, I guess, when he went to bed?
He went to bed about 8.
8, okay.
8 o'clock.
Get him in early.
Yeah. And I got up at 10. I went to bed at 10. We woken up about 11:30. He had peed on the floor. But I just put him back in the bed. He went back to sleep, and then I went to sleep. And now I didn't feel my wife get up. Well, she got up during the night to check on him, and she said it was there. I got up that morning. I got his clothes and Alex's clothes. I went back there the coffee table was moved. And I was thinking, okay, maybe he got up in the night and was playing with his toys or something like that. So I put the clothes on the table. I went in there and he was gone. He wasn't in the bed. I took the door, the lock was on the door, it was nowhere to be found. So I woke Crystal up. I woke Alex up. I woke my aunt up as well, but she just went back to sleep. Crystal got dressed. I got dressed. I went outside and looked around for a little bit. my neighbor's yard to see if he was over there. And I didn't go next door because, I lived over there and I didn't see him next door. I went back in the house, me and Alex went, and I took the car, went down the street a little bit, and turned back around. I got Alex and went around, and then I called my dad and said, hey, I can't find Joe. I called the police about 6:30, between 6:30 and 7, or like you said, 6:30, and then they came out, and I tried to search some more. I went down the road a little bit, and then I kept on going down the road to see if I could find him and see him. But I didn't see him.
Okay. And so you don't have any idea where he's at now?
No.
Okay. And the coffee table moved, would you assume he moved that over there and got the door unlocked?
So what was really weird is where the coffee table was, it wasn't near the door. Normally it would be near the door, because usually that would happen, but it wasn't near the door, it was pushed back. And I thought that was really unusual for something like that to happen. So.
Okay. Would little Joe been able to physically move that table, you think?
It had wheels on it.
Okay, so he could have pushed it over there, unlocked it, is that what you're thinking? He
Yeah.
pushed it over there, climbed up, unlocked it, and then pushed it back out of the way,
Yeah.
opened the door? I mean, would that be tall enough if he stood on that coffee table to reach the lock?
Yes.
Okay. And had he ever tried to do that before or unlock the door?
Crystal told me before, she saw him try to unlock the door. He almost had the key in the lock trying to unlock the door when it was in a chair. I didn't see that, but she said that's what she saw.
Okay.
So, and then in the mornings, I would get him, you really don't think about this kind of stuff, but, I would have to kind of wiggle the key into the lock to unlock it. So I think he may have, I think he was watching me how to do that. So.
He could have done that.
Yeah.
Okay. So he, 11:30-ish, when he had peed in the floor, all right, and you just put him back in the bed, y'all don't discipline or spank him or anything like that?
No, we just, I just said, hey, just
Kids thing.
Yeah.
Accidents happen.
Yeah, because, it is, I wasn't worried about that.
So you didn't get mad at him because he peed in the floor, okay?
No.
All right. And between that time, you went back to bed, so you didn't get up until 5:30?
Yeah.
So you didn't leave the house at all until after you found out he was missing, right? Okay. All right. So you didn't hurt little Joe that night, didn't get mad at him for some reason?
No.
And didn't hurt him or
No,
take him anywhere?
the only thing I said to him was, because we had made homemade pizza, and I said, Joe, you gotta eat all your pizza before you get cake. And I don't know if that upset him or not, but because he came back and ate it, and then I gave him some cake, he ate the cake, so.
Well, that was before he went to bed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, middle of the night or after he peed in the floor, you didn't get mad at him, didn't do anything to him?
No.
Accidentally or whatever?
No.
Okay. So you didn't do anything to hurt Joe in any way?
No.
Didn't take him anywhere that night or in the middle of the night? Okay, and you don't know where he's at now, or?
No, I don't know where he's at. I wish I did. I'd be, I was told, when this happened, to not look for him because of the scent. They don't want to lose the scent for the dogs, and, I'm scared, so.
Well, and you got a right to be for that.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a lot of people out there looking for him, trying to help.
Yeah. I really want to find him.
All right, Joe, I'm sorry, we trying to get everything figured out and going, okay. You met Agent Boyd?
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Okay, sorry. Can you grab us that, so he'll have somewhere to sit down, just slide this over here? Well, just hand it to me and I'll set that chair over here.
Yeah, if you want to sit, I'll sit right here.
Okay, that's fine. I'm trying to get you to move. Well, that's fine.
It'd be easier, we're moving all around. Yeah.
You know that you're not telling us the whole truth, okay? Joe, we're not, little Joe was missing, and we got Hagen, okay?
Okay.
Joe, you said in the beginning that there was something you said in the beginning that you didn't mean for this to happen. And we're not saying that you did anything intentionally to little Joe.
All right.
But there's no doubt that you know where little Joe's at now.
I don't know where he's at.
Well, listen to me. They've done a lot of phone stuff and phone records since today and the last couple of days. And there's no doubt somebody's phone went somewhere during that night, okay? And I don't know if it was an accident. Either you or Crystal hurt little Joe or somebody else did, but there's no doubt that something happened to little Joe. And I don't know exactly what, but you do, Joe.
I do not.
Yes, you do. You know where he's at. You know where he's at now, okay? Whether, I don't know, I hope to God that he's still alive. But Joe, help us do this for little Joe. You know, there's no doubt whatsoever, you know where he's at now.
I don't know where he's at.
Yes, you do, Joe. You can't, there's hundreds of people out there looking for him.
I don't know where he's at. I really don't. I really don't.
Yeah, well, and you said you kind of let it slip in the beginning that you didn't mean for this to happen.
I didn't know this was going to happen. Like, I seriously did not know that this was going to happen because I woke up that night at 11:30 and he peed in the floor. And then we put him back to bed. And well, I put him back to bed. I went back to sleep. I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't go anywhere else that night.
I believe you when you're saying that about little Joe Ian. I do, I believe that. But it's the stuff after that that I just can't believe. And that means for you to tell me that, I think you're a better person, okay, than the person that would just say, I don't know what happened after that. Because there are certain things that you've left out of what you've told us. But let me preface that and say before that, I'm talking about an accident. I don't know if it was, like Ronnie said, I don't know if it was an accident. But what I do know, okay, is that you know what happened. Now, what that leads me to then do is to figure out, well, what do I think? And there's really only two thoughts I have. That's two ways I can go. Is that something happened with Joe, little Joe, and I'm pretty certain that's him peeing. And I think things probably got out of control. Things you may have lashed out. You may have not. Maybe you didn't realize what all was going on, but you ended up getting into a situation where you had a kind of a lapse of judgment, right? And you next thing you know, you're in a situation where your emotions have taken over and taken control, and you end up hurting little Joe. The other side of this is that you're and this is more of a predatorial person who is seeking out to inflict pain on children. I don't think that's you.
No.
I don't see you as that person, and I never have. I don't want to believe that that's you. But when you leave stuff out and you don't tell me exactly what happened, and you're not honest about it.
I'm being honest.
Joe, but when you're not being honest about what happened throughout that night and you're leaving stuff out, I have to kind of, that leaves it up to me to choose which one of these I see you and believe in you in. And I don't want to believe that you're that predator, but when you don't tell me what happened, I don't really have a choice. And when other people are going to look in and see from the outside, they're not going to hear your side of the story. They're going to have to choose for themselves. And most of the time, people jump to the worst conclusions, and that's what they're going to go to. They're going to go to this guy who, whether it was little Joe or somebody else, they just want to, that person just wants to inflict pain on children. And I deal with those people all the time, and I see them all the time. I don't see you as that person. I don't want to believe you're that person. What I think is there was a lapse of judgment. There was emotions took control, right? And the situation got out of hand, and you ended up in this, almost this situation where this, little Joe, you end up hurting little Joe.
I didn't hurt little Joe.
And then you guys, maybe you panic. Maybe I want you to tell me first off, are you that predator?
No.
Are you that person that just looks to try and inflict pain on children?
No.
So what happened, really? What happened that night, that morning?
Okay, I want to tell you exactly what happened, okay?
I want this to be the truth,
And this
Joe. I don't want it to be the same stuff you've been saying before.
Okay.
I want it to be the truth.
I got woke up about 11:30 that night, and he peed in the floor. I went into the bedroom, I saw the pee in the floor, the bathroom light was on. So I said, just go ahead and just go back to sleep. And he laid it and went back in the bed and went down. I went back to the bed and went back to sleep. And sometime during the night, Crystal got up and she went out and checked on him. And then she went back to sleep. I woke up at 5:30, and then...
See, that's when you left stuff out, all right? And you've just done it again, okay? You've left things out. And this is the situation. Now we're kind of getting in the situation where, we're giving you that opportunity to tell us the truth.
I am.
And you keep going back to where you are, and we're taking a step backwards, and we're trying to move forwards. We're trying to bring closure to everybody, all right? Not just you guys, the two of you, but your family, the other kids, right? Little Joe's siblings. We're trying to bring closure to all of them, and the only way we can do that is by having the truth. And every time we start taking these steps backwards, we know you're leaving stuff out and you're omitting things.
I'm not.
We know you are, okay?
I'm not.
I want you to tell me what it is that's being left out.
There's nothing
Is
being
it about
left
you or is it about Crystal?
There's nothing being left out.
But there is, Joe. There is.
I would like to know what it is.
And this is not just, we're not waking up one day saying, hey, let's see if, we can figure this out. This is what we do for a living. This is what we've done for a long time. We've got to overcome those. And until we do that, we can't move forward until we overcome these issues and the issues of you telling us the whole truth and not just omitting things. Because there's a big difference between telling the full truth. Now, and I don't know if anybody's explained to you what lying is. There's what everybody thinks about lying, right? Everybody thinks of changing the facts. Saying the color of this wall is yellow.
Right, we'll just
blue. Right, exactly. That's changing the facts.
Right.
There's also another version of lying, which is called omitting things. That's lying as well, right? If I walk into this room and trip over a cord and I say, well, I walked in the room and then I sat down, well, that's lying too, because I know I've left that out. And that's what I think is happening here. I don't think you're changing facts, but I'm pretty certain that you're leaving stuff out. And so we've got to get past this, okay? We're kind of already there, right? We moved ahead, we know this stuff has been left out. We need to get you to that realization that, you know, where we are. And that means you telling us the whole truth. And not just the little bits and pieces that, you know, you think, well, if I give them that, they'll think I'm telling them the truth. We want the entire truth. That's what we're not getting at this point.
That's what I'm giving you.
But you're not. You can say you are, but you're not. At the end of the day, you're not. And again, for me to think that for you to tell me that you're not giving me, or that you're giving me the truth, for me to believe that, you know, kind of makes me feel that you think I'm that gullible that I'm going to believe that. And the other side of this, though, that I really want you to understand is that everything up to this point doesn't matter, right? Clean slate. You tell us the truth now, and no one's going to go back, right?
Okay. I remember one thing, okay? I do remember one thing, but I don't. Why? I don't know what happened, okay? I got up, like I said before, the 11:30, right? I got about 11:30, and I went to the bedroom after Alex woke me up.
Who's that?
Technically, it's my stepmom in my dad's bedroom, because that's where they were sleeping at. He had peed on the floor. The bathroom light was on. And I just told him to lay back down in the bed. And then after that, I went to bed. At 2:30, I felt somebody my wife get back in the bed, and the TV was on. I woke up at 5:30, hit the snooze a few times, then I realized that he was gone. After I got his clothes out, I went to the bedroom.
We're getting closer.
I went to the bedroom, their bedroom, got their clothes, went into the living room, set them on the coffee table, went into their bedroom, and he was gone.
See, so we're closer, but we're not quite there, Joe.
I didn't do anything to Joe.
We're not quite there. There's a lot that's being left out.
I didn't do anything to Joe, I'm telling
The
you.
very important stuff is left out.
Well, did Crystal do something to him?
I don't know. Like, my parents have always had this fear that she would do something to him.
Why is that?
Just the way that she, that way that they would, just the thing that she's done, apparently, I haven't seen most of it, but the way, you know, she treats him, apparently, and the way that she does things to him and stuff like that. So, I know what I'm saying. I don't know what
Yes,
she
you do,
did.
Joe. Okay, we gotta get past this, okay?
If I knew.
Crystal has told you, or you have her carry, or something. One of y'all's phone left that house in the middle of the night and went somewhere, and we got a pretty good idea where.
And
Okay.
Joe, and I'm just saying that, we're not telling you everything. That's just a little bit that we're telling you. There's a lot of stuff, okay? That I'm not going to say, okay, that, because I'm not gonna tell you the things that we already know, because they're things that you already know. So what I need, okay, we're a little bit closer. You told me that you didn't just go to sleep, right? You remember something else. Somebody got in bed, the TV was on. All right, when little Joe peed, you went into that room, okay? Right?
Right.
You went into the room, the bathroom light was on.
Right.
You told him to get back in bed. I want to know what really happened then.
That's
what I want to know.
I didn't beat him.
What really happened.
I did not beat
Who else
him.
was there in that room with you?
Alex.
Who is Alex?
Alex is Crystal's son, my stepson.
Okay? So here's the thing. There's a lot of things that aren't matching up. There's a lot of things, the reasons that we're asking you some of these questions are prompted by other stuff. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what those are, because this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to tell me 100% truth about that night. What I need answers for is all the other stuff. The other stuff that we found that is leading us to ask you these questions, that is putting us in this situation, and there's the reason that I'm talking to you now. I need the answers to those questions. And those questions, the big question mark is what really happened that night. And that's what you're not being honest with us about. You're not being honest from the time that he peed to the time that you say you realized he was gone. They're not getting 100% honesty there.
I'm telling you.
But you're not, okay? And again, you know, when you keep telling me that, and it's kind of a little offensive to me.
I just want to bow.
Listen, Joe. One thing, there is no way on God's green earth that little Joe climbed up on something and will unlock that lock, okay? He didn't do that.
This is the chance, okay? I know you want to make all this right. I know you do. I see that in you. I see that you're a good person.
We know that you love
I see that you're a good person. But you have to continue to tell us. You have to tell us the truth.
I don't know if someone let him out.
I'm not concerned about letting him out. I want to know the whole story.
I'm telling you what I know, what I saw when I was there.
I want you to tell me everything you did, everything you saw, because you're not. I've seen, okay?
I am telling you everything.
That's not the truth, Joe. That's not the truth. And you can say it over and over and over, and it doesn't make it the truth. You know what the truth is, okay? I need to know exactly what happened that night. I need to know what happened between you and Joe, you and little Joe, and what you saw. I'm not going to think anything of you. I think you're a good person. I see that in you. I want you to be that good person. And I want you to tell me the truth. I want you to be the good person that I see in you. The only way to be that good person is to make it right here, right now. Okay? Clean slate. Clean slate. Blank slate. We can start all over. But I can't do that unless you tell me the truth.
Where is that?
I need you to tell me the truth. What actually happened?
I don't know.
What truly, but you do. You do know. You do know. I know you know. Ronnie knows you know.
That was fine with Joe.
I don't know where he's at.
Yes, you do, Joe.
I do not.
We know you love him, and if you love him, you tell us.
I don't know where he's at,
Yes,
okay?
you do.
No, I don't.
If I, Joe, again, you keep saying that to me, and it's like you think I'm going to suddenly just believe it all of a sudden, and just dismiss everything else that I know in this. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, I'm not just going to all of a sudden say, okay, you can't change, you can't go back and change things. As much as I think you probably would want to, I think you would probably do it. I know you would do things differently. I know you would.
I want to tell you right now, okay? My fear, okay, was that something like this would happen, okay? That he would escape. Okay. Now, when I know they've got the lock, and they probably already ran the prints on it. So, which I know my one probably found the key, but I didn't know where the padlock was. I moved the key a little bit, but I did not let him escape the house.
I'm not here because someone escaped the house.
I'm trying to find a boy.
I'm here to find the truth of what happened to that boy. The searchers are out there to find the boy. I'm here to get the truth of what happened to little Joe.
Which phone was the one that left the house?
I'm here to get the truth of what happened with little Joe. I'm not answering questions. I'm not giving you the answers. I'm not putting things in your head. I'm not gonna tell you what it is that I know and what I don't know, because you already know the answers to those questions. You already know.
I've told you the truth.
Again,
What happened
but
is the truth.
you have not, Joe.
Yes, I have.
But you have not. There's a lot of stuff you have not told us.
I did not.
And we cannot go forward.
I did not.
Again, now we're taking those steps back, okay? We're taking those steps back. And the longer we sit here and take those steps back, the longer it's gonna be before we really get closure. And finding little Joe and start healing. That's, when I say closure, that's what we wanna do, Everybody just needs to start healing.
All right.
And in order to do that, the only thing that can start that process is being completely truthful.
Now, I take medicine for my bipolar disorder. So
Okay.
I'm telling you some relevant information, okay?
All right, tell me.
Okay. I take that medicine usually an hour before I go to bed. And I took it about 9 o'clock that night, because my goal was to get to bed at 10, get them up at 5:30, and get them on the bus at 6:25, 6 o'clock, something like that. Going 32 somewhere between 11:30 and 11:40, I got woke up by Alex. Alex told me that Joe had peed on the floor. I went in there and I told Alex, don't worry about it. We'll just put him back.
See, those weren't the words that you used. That's not what you told Alex.
I told him not to worry about
I
it.
need the truth.
I told him not to worry about it.
No, tell me the truth. Tell me exactly what you told Alex.
To go back to bed.
Tell me the exact words that you used. You know what
It's
they
hard for me to remember because of the medication that I take.
But you remember. You do. I know you do.
I told him.
I do understand some of that medication, okay? And I know that does not affect your memory. And
I know that.
I know those were not to that degree. I know that those were not the words that you used. And I know that you know what those are. And let's start there.
Okay.
Let that be the baby step.
Okay.
Okay? Let you tell me that.
I went in there. And I'm trying to remember exactly what I want to tell you, okay? The truth.
Please do. Please do.
Okay, I went into the bedroom. I didn't spank him. I didn't whip him, beat him, or anything like that. I told him that, to get back in the bed.
You're not going to offend me with words. I need to hear the exact words.
Okay,
I need to hear exactly what you said.
I know, I didn't.
Replay it right now as if you're acting it all out.
I told him to get his butt back in the bed.
What else did you say?
And I said, don't worry about the pee. I told Alex not to worry about Joe peeing.
What else did you do?
I walked out of the room after they jumped back in the bed.
And then what?
I went back to bed.
Tell me exactly what happened.
I'm telling you what happened.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you, okay, is the truth. Okay? I know you're looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I understand that you're trying to find somebody.
That's fine.
I'm
I'm here.
trying to get the answers of what happened to him.
I'm here for truth. And if someone else did something to him, I'd be here talking to him just like you, because I would know that. But Joe, I'm not, okay? I'm here talking to you.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I did not leave the house until 5:30. I did not take him anywhere. I did not do anything like
What
that.
did you, but you, I say again, you're leaving out what you did to Joe.
I did not beat Joe. I did not hurt Joe.
What did you do to Joe?
I may have raised my voice out.
That's not how we ended up here. That's not how we ended up in this situation, by you raising your voice.
I did not beat
I
Joe.
need to know exactly what happened to Joe.
I did not beat Joe.
Was it an accident,
No,
Joe?
no,
Was it an accident?
I did not beat
So
him.
you intentionally did it? It
No.
wasn't an accident?
I did not beat him.
Joe,
I did not touch him.
Joe, if you didn't accidentally do it, then it was intentional.
I did not whip him.
Did you set, I mean, look, did you set out that day to do this to Joe?
No,
I don't think you did. I agree. What did you do to Joe?
I didn't do anything to Joe. I did not scream at him.
You did. You just told
I
me
mean,
earlier you raised your voice.
I raised my voice, but I didn't scream at him.
So what else?
I did
I
not.
don't know what happened.
I didn't beat him. I didn't hit him. I didn't slap him. I didn't spank him.
Where was Crystal?
She was in bed.
Joe? We're not going anywhere. The two of us, me and Ronnie, okay? We're not going anywhere. We're not going to just stop. We're gonna keep pushing for the answers. We're gonna keep going for them, and that's what we do.
Right.
We don't stop. We don't give up. And I can't just. I don't believe it. And the reason for that is it's not just because I'm saying, hey, I don't think Joe's being honest. There's some certainty to what I'm saying. And it's almost like it's a snowball that starts going down a hill. And that snowball starts real small, right?
Yeah.
That snowball small, and it's rolling slow. And the more it goes down that hill, it starts picking up snow, and it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when the snowball's small, you can pick it up and stop it and step on it, smush it, do whatever you want to stop it. But once that snowball starts getting big and it gets out of control, you can't stop it. That's where we are. Okay? This has gotten out of your control. And it has gotten to the point where it feels like you can't stop it. But I'm here to tell you right now that I can just make the snowball go away completely, and we can start over from scratch.
Okay.
With 100% truth.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. But if you keep telling me dishonest things that are not true, and you continue to jump over parts and pieces.
Okay. I went to bed at 10:30, 10 o'clock, because I know it was 10 o'clock. Got out of bed at 11:32, because we were clocked at 11:32. I went in, Alex had come into the room screaming, Joe had peed on the floor. So I got up, I said, okay. I went in there to the bedroom. He was standing, there was pee on the floor. He had peed on the floor.
All this stuff that you're thinking of right now, that's what I need you to tell me.
Right. That's what I'm trying to, okay? I'm trying to remember what I said. I told.
And that's, let me just, because I have concern with that. When you're honest, you don't have to try to be honest. You just are.
Right.
Just,
And
just let it freely.
at 11:30, okay. At 10 o'clock, I went to bed. I got woke up by Alex at 11:30, 11:32, something like that. I got in the bed because he said Joe had peed on the floor. I went into the bedroom and I saw that there was pee on the floor. The bathroom light was on, and I told him, Alex, don't worry about it, and then both of you get back to bed.
Just to see, that's not exactly what you said.
Joe, you keep trying to change this over and over again, and each time you tell a little bit different. When you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said before. Joe, we don't doubt that you love little Joe. You still love him.
I love the boy. I just want him found.
Well, you gotta help us. Okay? We want him found too. You've got to help us. You know what happened. Okay?
I wish I did.
No,
Well, no,
Okay, I
see,
would.
no,
we're going backwards, Joe.
we're not gullible, okay? We're not just gonna believe that.
I know.
And, you know, don't disrespect us by saying these things over and over.
You got woke up and you were pissed.
Let's talk about the truth.
Yes, I was a little upset.
A little,
I was upset, but
be honest.
I was upset, but I wasn't, want to whip him or anything like that. I did not touch Joe.
Look, there's been times I've done it, I wanted to beat back his ass. Hands down, I'll tell you. Hands down. So you tell me that you got up in the middle of the night because one of your kids peed on the floor, who's really, Joe's not yours, is he?
He is.
He is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the other was a stepson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex is.
Okay, Alex, forgive me. But when you get up in the middle of the night and the kids pee on the floor, and I get it, Joe, little Joe, he has problems. And I know he's gotta be hard to raise. I understand that. But you get up in the middle of the night and little Joe, he has problems, he's hard, he's difficult and trying. You get up in the middle of the night, he's peeing on that floor, and so for you to tell me, I was a little upset. Ain't no father in this world gonna believe that, okay? Not a single father that's ever been in a situation, anything remotely close by that.
I was
Let's
upset.
be honest, and let's use the words you would normally use.
I was upset.
I mean, I'd probably say I'm pissed.
Yeah.
So, but you say whatever words you would normally use, but let's accurately describe it, because we're not doing that. And to not accurately describe it, I have to look at that as a omission too, just like everything else. So, and I know you're worried. I know you are. But what I need you to do is just focus on the truth, because when I say, and it's overused and overplayed so much that it loses a lot of value. But when I say that the truth will set you free, I cannot tell you how much that is true and how much I mean that.
Okay. All right. I was upset when I got woke up. I was upset. I went in there and I didn't touch baby Joe. I didn't touch Alex. I didn't spank Alex or spank baby Joe or either one of them. I told them both to get back in the bed and go back to sleep. That was all that I did.
I need more details than that, Joe.
And I told Alex not to worry about the pee in the floor.
Look, the level of detail I'm needing.
Just the whole details.
And so if you said, get your butts back in the bed, I need you to tell me. You said, I told them, get your asses back. If you say get your asses back in the bed, tell me.
Okay.
And that's just not the only thing I'm talking about.
I'm trying not to cuss or anything like that, but.
You're not gonna offend us. We've heard everything.
Buddy, I can tell you, I probably say the same, if not more than you.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, and I told her, I said, get your ass back in the bed. And I told Alex, don't worry about the pee. And then I left the room. I left the room, I didn't touch Joe. I didn't purposely unlock the door. I didn't move the coffee table.
Don't tell me the things you didn't do. I want you to tell me the things you did.
I did not spank Joe. I didn't touch Joe. I told him to be back in the bed.
I'm not asking about the things you didn't do.
Right.
I'm asking about the things you did.
Right. I did. Okay.
So
I told them to get their asses back in the bed. I told Alex, don't worry about the pee. Then I went back to the bedroom and I went back to sleep. And I got woke up again. I felt someone come back in the bedroom about 2:30. Someone came back in the bedroom at 2:30, and I heard a flop on the bed, and it was my wife. And I went back to sleep. I did not leave the house. I got back up at 5:30, and that's when basically I got up at 5:30, but I put this news button a few times to kind of listen to the music a little bit.
see,
Okay.
let me just stop you.
Okay. See my hand?
Mhm.
That's how nervous I am. I'm a nervous person.
So, again, I'm not worried about you being nervous. I'm not worried about things you didn't do.
Either you're gonna do something to Joe.
I think you're not telling me the truth.
I didn't do anything to Joe.
I think you're not telling me the truth. In fact, I know you're not telling me the truth. I sit across from a lot of people, a lot of really bad people. I sit across from people who have killed, and let's talk about children. I sit across and talk to people who have killed a lot of children. And they are sick people.
Right. I understand that. You know.
There's a big difference from what I see between them and you. But that's just from what I see. I don't know. Maybe you are one of those people.
No.
Maybe you're one of them. And you just haven't gotten to that level yet. I don't know. I don't know you. But I need you to decide, are you one of those people? Or are you the type of guy that gets put into a situation that gets out of hand, out of control? You have a lapse of judgment, right? And you do things you regret. Or you're that other guy that likes to hurt children. Which is it? Is it the first one, some of the ones that are children?
No.
Or is it the guy who gets into a situation that's out of his hands, out of control,
Make a mistake.
makes a mistake?
I didn't make mistakes or, lose judgment. I'll be honest about that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm not,
But making mistakes, man, I mean, gosh.
We're talking about tonight on Joe.
right,
Little Joe, I mean, mistakes are mistakes.
I don't remember,
If it was a mistake, it was a mistake, but if it was something where you've been thinking about doing this for weeks,
no,
I need you to tell me that too.
I never planned this. I didn't want this to happen. I feared that he would escape somehow. And I've always had that legitimate fear.
And, that word there just, I mean, you don't talk about your own son escaping. That's not the word you use if you're talking about everyday normal life.
I know.
Something's happened, okay?
He,
Little Joe deserves, he's somewhere alone. Think about that. And you know where he's at. You can help us bring little Joe home. Joe, be a man. You're better than this, okay?
But little Joe deserves more.
I know that.
He deserves to properly be laid to rest.
What?
Dundee.
They found him?
No. I need you to tell me where he is. I need you to help me find him.
I don't know where he's at. I'm telling you.
Joe, you keep saying it 1,000 times and it's still not the truth.
I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at.
You do know where he's at.
No, I don't. I don't know where he's at.
You do know where he's at. It's the last place you took him.
Tell us about the logging road.
The logging road.
Tell us, little Joe was the last place that you took him.
I went to the logging road like a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't take him with me.
Well, I'm not talking about, I'm just saying in general, and I may have, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's, you had said something about the logging road's the place where you go when you need a thing or something, right?
Yeah, I don't. I didn't get in my car that night, take off somewhere. I didn't unlock the door to let him out.
Again, I'm not interested in the things you don't do.
I'm telling you the truth.
I didn't go in a spaceship to Mars, but I'm not telling people I didn't do it.
What I did do was I got up at 11:32. Alice woke me up.
You were pissed.
Yeah, I was pissed. I went back into their bedroom where the bed they were sleeping in. And I told the rest to get back in the bed. I told Alice not to worry about the pee in the floor.
You cleaned up the pee in the floor.
I did not clean up the pee in the floor.
I said, who?
I don't think anybody did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I didn't clean up the pen before.
We're talking to Crystal too. Talk to the other kids. And we've done a lot of other stuff that you don't even know about. There's a lot of stuff happening right now that you don't know about. So every time you say, I don't know, or I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I'm telling you the truth, when you're not, and we know those things are not true, you're digging yourself, I mean, the hole just keeps deeper and deeper and deeper.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
reach from the ladder that I'm giving you. I'm trying to give you a ladder to help you climb out of it. You may not think you can. You may think it's too deep, and oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't tell them. I can't tell them the truth. I can't get out of this hole. But trust me,
not going to dig myself any further.
there's not a hole. I have seen people, I mean, things much worse than this, okay? And those people take that chance, and they take that opportunity to tell the truth. And they begin to heal. They begin to move forward with it. They're able to do that. And I know they look back on that day and that they're glad that they did it. The only regrets are the opportunities you don't take. This is an opportunity. I want you, because I see the good person in you. I see that you're that caring father. I see that. I see that you're that loving husband. Help me let others see that. And the only way to do that is to finally just come truthful with it and tell me everything.
Okay, I will. Starting with what I'm going to tell you right now. Okay? That night that I got up, I was pissed. I got up out of the bed, followed Alex into the bedroom. I saw baby Joe. He was laughing. He had peed on the floor. I was not happy about that. I didn't spank him. I looked at him, and then I looked at Alex, and I looked back, and I said, both of your asses get back in the bed now. I left the bedroom. I went back to bed. At 2:30, I woke up again. I felt someone, not my wife, get back on the bed. During that time lapse, I didn't feel her out of the bed at 1 o'clock or any time during the night, except for the time that she got back in the bed. I didn't feel her get back in the bed. What I did do then, I went back to sleep. I didn't hear the door slam through the night. I didn't hear the door open, which you can't really hear a door open. I didn't hear the lock hit the toy box. I didn't hear the lock hit that. I didn't hear that either. When I woke up at 5:30, I hit the snooze button twice. I got out of bed. I went and got the clothes, Alex and Joe's. I noticed the coffee table had been moved. Then I put the clothes on the coffee table. I didn't look at the door. I went into the room, and I saw that Joe was missing. I freaked out. I went and looked through the house first. I got Crystal up to come outside with me to try to find baby Joe. We went through the neighborhood, the front, let's say I was in my house, right, and the neighbors across the diagonal from us and across from us. I went to the neighbor's yard to look around their yard, because that's where he was last time. He had went outside, and I left the house without us knowing, and the neighbor brought it back over. I checked part of the neighbor's yard across the street, and he wasn't there. Took my car, I drove around the area a little bit, went down the road, then I came back, picked up Alex, looked again, called my dad, then called the police, and reported that he was missing.
So, again, you haven't told me the full truth, Joe.
I have. That's what I just told you.
But Joe, those are the ones you haven't. You haven't. And, you know, I see glimpses of it. I see you start to, and I can see it in you that you're wanting to, and you may even start to think to say it, and then something stops you. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But you're not. You're not telling me the truth. You're telling me what you think I want to hear, what you think you've already said, what you think I know, what you think I can prove. I know a lot. I know a lot more than you're telling me.
What do you know? No.
Again, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you what I know because it doesn't matter what I know. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you what I know so that you can just go and say, okay, well, I'll tell them that. Because you said it. I need the truth from you.
I told you.
Joe, somebody in your house did something to little Joe that night, and they took him out and put him somewhere. He didn't leave that house on his own. He didn't unlock that door. He didn't climb up on that coffee table, and he didn't go over and find the key, and you talked about how hard it was to unlock that lock. All this didn't happen. Okay? You, Alex, Crystal, somebody did something to little Joe and took him out of that house. And you know where he's at now, okay?
I don't know where he's
Yes, you do.
You, Alex, or Crystal did something to little Joe. Tell us what that is. Tell us what happened to baby Joe.
If you didn't do it, you know who did.
Tell us what happened to baby Joe. You, Alex, or Crystal did something to him.
I didn't do anything to him. I'm telling you the truth.
You, Alex, or Crystal did something to him. And you know. You know what it is, and you know where he is.
I don't know where he is. I'm telling you the truth. I have no idea where he is, where he's at, or anything.
You know what happened to him.
I'm telling you the truth.
You know what happened to him, Joe. You can keep saying, I'm telling you the truth. It doesn't make it the truth. It doesn't.
What am I supposed to tell you?
The truth.
The truth. That's
Be
what I'm telling you, the truth.
I want you to say the words, the truth. I don't want you to say, I'm telling you the truth. I want you to tell me exactly what happened.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay,
Okay?
you're still admitting stuff.
I'm trying to figure out, throughout the night what I did, what I've heard.
Did you wake Crystal up and tell him that Alex woke me up and little Joe's pissed in the floor and I'm pissed? I mean, you didn't wake her up and tell her that?
No.
Why not?
I just don't, when I get up, I just deal with this. I don't, you know.
So
like
it
everybody else does.
was you that did something to Baby Joe.
No, I didn't do anything to Baby Joe.
When Krista was sleeping, I hate to think Alex did it. I mean, maybe he did.
I didn't
But
do,
you know,
I didn't do
you
anything to
know
him.
what happened to Baby Joe. And you know where he is, and you know how he got there. And that's what I need you to tell me. I can't do it for you. I can't put the words in your mouth.
I can't say anything else at this point. I really can't.
But you can.
I'm telling you what I remember. I'm
But
telling you what
you're not.
I'm telling you everything that I remember what happened. Every single
You're
thing.
telling me what you remember because you're worried about getting in trouble.
I didn't do anything to Baby Joe, okay? That's what I'm telling you.
You're worried about getting in trouble, and I understand that. I
I know.
understand that. But I want you, I wish you would believe me when I told you that no matter what you tell me right now, you tell me the truth, and you will walk out that door. You're walking out of here, okay? I promise you. I can promise you that. No matter what you say to me right now, you're walking out that door.
I was upset at Baby Joe for paying him for. I was pissed. I told both of them. I told Alex not to worry about the P and the 4. And not to worry about Baby Joe paying in the 4. And I told both of them to get their asses back in bed. And I left the room.
Little Joe was standing there laughing about peeing in the floor. And that would just throw fuel on the fire of already being pissed off and him sitting there laughing at you for having to get up.
But I didn't hurt him. I love my boy so much that I wouldn't do anything.
Well, evidently you don't, because you know where he's at and you're not having to find him.
I don't know where he's at.
Yes, you do.
I wouldn't have searched for him to find
People
out where
do it
he's
all the
at.
time, Joe. People do it, I mean, like Agent Boyd said, now that you just really don't care. You don't care what happened to Joe, little Joe.
I do care what
Because
happens.
if you
You're just
did
worried
care,
about yourself.
if you did care, you tell us. You tell us what happened.
You know how to help us find him. You can tell us right now, and we'll go get him. But the longer you sit here not helping us, that just goes to show that you don't care.
I care about him. But I'm telling you everything I remember and know.
But you're not. You're not.
What do you want to do?
I want you to tell me the truth.
I am.
But you're not.
I am.
You're leaving a lot out. You're leaving the stuff out that you, for whatever reason, you think you're going to get in trouble if you tell us, and we may think less of you. We're going to judge you. We're not. Okay. I would actually think more highly of you if you for you to tell me the truth.
Okay.
I have sat. I've ended up shaking hands. Because that's a big deal to me. It's one thing to meet somebody, it's another to say, I respect you. I want to respect you. But I need the truth.
I'm trying to remember what.
The whole truth, nothing omitted.
I know. I'm trying to remember what happened after I went into that bedroom. I told Alex not to worry about the pee on the floor. And I told them to get their asses back in bed. I saw Alex get to bed. I did not see Mary Jo get back in bed.
Yeah,
And that's different.
I'm trying to remember everything I can think of to help you guys.
Where was little Joe standing if he didn't get back in the bed?
He was standing outside the bathroom door.
so here's the problem I have now is that you're sitting there trying, and you say you're trying to tell it, and I'm trying to think, I'm trying to tell you the truth, I'm trying to
I
remember.
was also half asleep.
I'm reading you right now, Joe. Okay, I've been reading you since the first second I met you. What you're doing is you're thinking about what to tell me. You're creating it in your head. You're not recalling it, you're creating it. Okay? And you're leaving stuff out. You're trying to tell me, you're trying to find things that will make sense and that will connect. But I'm here to, and I certain will tell you that none of this is connecting with the facts that I know, with the truths that I know.
I'm giving you
And
facts.
facts that you're not telling me.
I'm telling you everything that I know. That's the facts. I want to tell you.
That doesn't make me think less of you. You know,
I know that. I know
you're
that.
protecting.
I'm not protecting myself. I'm telling you the truth. Okay? 100% the truth. Whatever happened to Baby Joe, I'd like to know, because I cannot figure out what happened, why he did what he did, or anything.
What about why you did what you did? I'm not worried about what it is that Joe did. Baby Joe didn't do anything. His name's Baby Joe for a reason. He was 5. He was 5. He didn't do anything. You did. And that's what I need you to tell me.
What did I do?
What you did. Tell me what you did.
I went into the bedroom.
Is it gonna be the same thing that you've been saying, that you leave and everything else out?
Okay.
Because I'll be honest with you, I don't wanna hear the stuff that you've been saying that where you're leaving everything out. Because that's not the truth. I'm not interested in not truth. I'm only interested in truth. I'm only interested in the entire truth, the 100%, not the 99.9, not the truths that you think I know, and leaving out the stuff that don't have. How could he know that? Can't know that. I can tell you I do. Those are the truths that I need. I need the whole truth. I can't play with impartials, with half-truths, with omissions. I need everything. I need to know what you did to Baby Joe. I need to know what you did and where you put it.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay? Now this is just point of emphasis, right? There was a witness that said that they saw Baby Joe was walking down the road in the middle of the night. Now there was someone that actually did say that. So if that was the case, then
What happened?
I'm telling you, I did not let Barry Joe out of the house.
So you mentioned an outside fact, an outside truth, an outside something. You know, you
Right.
mentioned the witness. That is just one tiny little piece that we end up putting on the table, and we throw it all together, and we start finding more pieces, and we start finding more and more and more, and it starts looking like a picture. And you're worried about one little piece. Well, I can promise you that that little piece fits with everything else. And I know what that little piece is. I know what the witness said. I can prove different things about the witness. I can prove a lot of stuff.
Right.
I know certain things with certainty. And so I'm not going to answer and give you information. It's not how this works.
Okay.
The only thing I want you to give me is the truth.
Okay.
The whole truth.
Okay.
100%. Not 99.9.
What I'm trying to do is tell you the truth, and I'm trying to dig it out of my head on exactly what happened.
I'm trying to get you to tell me the truth.
And you're trying.
You're not trying to tell me the truth.
No,
you're actually trying not to tell me the truth. That's actually what you're doing. If we want to call it for what it is, you were trying very hard not to tell me the whole truth, and you're taking really every step you can not to tell me the truth. And you know, I'm still willing to kind of give you that benefit of the doubt and give you that second chance, that third chance, that fourth chance, that fifth chance. I'll give you a million chances because
that's what you're doing, right?
I gotta have the truth. I gotta have the truth. Okay? I need you to tell me what happened, why it happened, and I need you to tell me where Joe is. But the first step of that, why don't you just tell me where Joe is?
I don't know. That's the truth. I do not know.
So what do we need to go into the first thing you tell me needs to be what happened? Because you haven't done that yet.
I told you what happened.
But you haven't.
Why don't you believe me?
Because I know certain facts that you're not telling me.
Do you really think that little Joe left that house on his own?
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
You think he unlocked that freaking lock?
I know
Himself.
he's partially unlocked the lock. Joe, and he's tried to unlock the lock in the past. That boy is not as weak as people think. That boy he's a strong boy. He's a really strong boy. Okay? He's a really strong boy. I don't remember unlocking the door. I don't remember.
But let me tell you, he wasn't strong enough to prevent what happened to him. He wasn't strong enough to stop what you did. Did you okay?
Joe, it's wants to come out, you feel so much better. You can have it spine and bring him home.
Tell me what you did, Rachel.
We know you didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Yeah, it wasn't, if it was on purpose, I would know.
We know, well, what I know, what we know, is that if you could go back right now, you would do it different.
I would.
Tell me what
I
happened.
would.
Tell me what you did to fake the charge. Tell me what you did to prove it.
When I get angry, I'm gonna be honest, there's stuff that happens that I don't remember.
Tell me what you did to fake the charge. I need you to look up at me, what you did to fake the charge.
And Joe, you could have blacked out and don't remember actually what,
That's-
the physical act, but you know afterwards what happened, right? I mean, you may not remember physically, you could have been blacked out and done something accidentally, but afterwards you did remember, and you did see the results of what happened.
Tell me
If
what
it
you
wasn't
tell
for that,
me.
you wouldn't feel so bad about it.
Tell me what you did to fake the charge. You can do this, Joe.
You're so close.
Listen, you can do this. Tell me what you did.
I know that it was dark, it was dark, it was dark in the house, obviously it's nighttime. So,
You can do this. I know you can. It's okay.
I really,
I know you can do this.
you know what, I'm gonna be honest about something, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Tell me what happened. Richie. You can do this. I know. Tell me what happened. Did you kick him out? Did you tell him to leave? Did you tell him to go outside? You told him to go outside. What
I think
happened?
I was mad.
What happened outside?
I didn't do anything outside.
What did you do to each other?
I didn't do anything to him outside.
Okay, well, let's back up.
Okay.
When he, was this when you got up to the one, about with the pee, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So Alex got back in the bed,
yeah.
and you,
But the thing about Crystal was that she said she got up and saw him in the bed at 1 o'clock in the morning.
When? What'd you do to him, Joe?
Tell us about letting him out.
I don't know. I don't know.
You told him to get out.
No,
Were you mad at him?
I was mad. But I don't remember, like, it was,
You told him to go outside.
What'd you do after you told him to go outside?
I shut the door.
Did you lock it back?
No,
But you shut the door. Then what?
I went back to bed.
What time was this?
I don't know what happened during the time, but it was about 11 or 12 o'clock when I noticed the clock.
So you opened the door, put him outside, closed the door, and you go back to bed.
I need to pick you up. Okay, Joe.
So we can hear
Did
you.
you say yes? That's what happened. You went back to bed and you woke up at 5:30.
That's what I guess what may have happened was I probably blacked out, and it's kind of hard to remember.
So, did Crystal, is she lying about? Is she trying to?
I don't know.
Is she saying that to protect you?
I don't know.
Have you guys talked about it? You told Crystal? I mean, because, let's be honest.
No, I may
Because Crystal knows.
I may have let him out.
Crystal knows that you let.
Well, there's no mayhem. You've already said you did.
No.
Didn't we?
Crystal knows you. Crystal knows what happened. Gotcha. Crystal knows that you opened the door and pushed him out. Didn't you? I mean, she knows that, right?
No,
Because you told her.
no. I didn't tell her that.
So why is she lying about Stephen the bed? And it's,
Well,
Crystal wants to protect you, I understand that.
It may have been, it may have been that I let him out of the door. It may have been where the lock on the door was unlocked, and then he was able to climb and get the key as well. Something happened during that time between 11:30 and 12 o'clock.
We know that.
Yeah, I may, you might be right, I may have subconsciously done something, like unlocked the door.
Well, you've already said that you let him out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you remember that part.
Either I let him out,
But see, again,
or subconsciously,
that's not the whole truth there.
I know I didn't whip him or anything like that.
Tell me what else you did.
I know,
Tell me what else you did, Joe. Not about what you didn't do. That's a big step.
Yeah.
Okay? We made a big step in this. You tell us about the door, and you tell us about telling Joe to get out. We've made a big step with that.
but I didn't do anything else.
I need to know what else you did to Joe. We're not there yet. We're not at that 100%. Tell me what else you did to Joe. And I appreciate you telling me about
Yeah,
the door.
because I'm trying to figure out why
But I know that there's more.
subconsciously.
I'm not worried about figuring out the lies. There's more. And I appreciate you being honest about the door and telling Joe to get out. But I want to know what else you did to Joe. There's more.
I raised my voice now.
Okay. What else did you do to Joe?
I didn't spank him.
You can do this. You can tell me, what else did you do to Baby Joe?
I didn't even touch him. I don't remember touching him. That's the thing, I don't remember any of this except for,
Tell me what else happened to Baby Joe.
okay, I unlocked the door. I pushed the coffee table out of the way in a weird way. I don't know why. What happened? And I let him out. I told him to get out. I don't remember doing that.
You remember that, right? Before you have.
Well, the thing about
Joe, come on.
the blacking out part, right?
You know you did it.
The blacking out part, right? Something happened between 11:30 and midnight, because when I went back into the bedroom, it was almost midnight. And I kind of realized, like, what happened to the time? So sometime between,
See, you know what happened. There was no blackout. There was no, I can't remember. You know exactly what happened during that time. You know exactly what happened to Baby Joe. And I know you can do this. I know you can. And it's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard. It's not easy. You can do this. What else did you do to Baby Joe? You can do this. You can tell us.
I may have spanked him.
You can tell us. What did you do to Baby Joe?
I know that
You were asleep, they wake you up.
What else happened to Baby Joe?
Yeah,
What did you
exactly.
do? What did you do to Baby Joe? What else did you do? We've gotten a little bit further. Again, we're a good bit. We're still a good bit from the end. What else did you do to Baby Joe? What else happened? You can do this.
I know you can.
What else did you do?
I yelled at him. I didn't
What
really
else?
yell. I yelled at him.
And what else? What else, Joe?
After that,
You're replaying it over and over in your head. I know you are.
after that,
What else?
Joe, when you close your eyes, you see what you did.
What else did you do, Joe? You got this. I know you can do it.
I blacked out.
And what happened?
After I blacked out, after I blacked out, I don't know what else happened at that time.
What else happened, Joe? You know what
It's
happened.
kind of hard to remember what happens when you black out.
You know what happened.
But you can see
What else
the
happened?
results of what happened.
I didn't kill him.
What else happened?
I didn't kill Baby Joe.
What did you do to Baby Joe? What else did you do to Baby Joe?
I know I raised my voice at him. And then, after that, I don't remember much of anything else, except for the fact that
You remember what happened to Baby
you
Joe?
got the friends on you.
You know what happened to Baby Joe? Tell me what else happened to Baby Joe. You've done good, okay?
Okay,
Let me walk through this door with you,
okay,
okay? Let's do this together.
okay.
What else happened to Baby Joe?
After I yelled at him, I walked over and saw the pee. I told him to get his asses into bed, and I got even more angry.
What'd you do?
I went to the living room, unlocked the door. I put the lock in the toy box and I left the room.
What else happened?
Joe came out of the room and was still laughing.
What did you do?
I told him to get back into bed. And I turned around.
What'd you do to Coach? You can tell me.
After I turned around, he didn't get back in bed. So I spanked him. Made him get back in bed.
Tell me what you did to Coach.
I'm telling you what I think, what I remember.
Tell me.
How did you spank him?
I spanked him on his butt,
Hand, bell?
hand.
Which hand?
Your right hand.
Did you hold him with your left hand?
No. Just, yeah, with no left hand, spanked him.
How many times did you spank him?
Circle.
3, 15,
I don't remember. I want to say at least 4.
at least 4, as much as maybe 15. And what else did you do to each other? I know there's more.
I picked him up. I put him back in the bed.
Was he still laughing, crying?
He was crying.
Tell me what else happened to Baby Joe. That's not everything. That's not everything. Tell me what.
Doing good, John. Keep going.
I'm right here with you, okay?
I'm trying to, you know.
We do this together. Tell me what really happened to Baby Joe.
After he was crying, he got back into bed. He got up and started laughing again.
Tell me what happened.
And I put him, got still angry with him.
Sure.
So
I understand. Tell me what else happened. You can do this. You can do this. I'm here with you. Tell me what happened.
I spanked him again.
To which same right hand.
Same one. Same right hand.
We're just back. You can tell me. You can be honest about it.
In the butt.
Where else did you spank?
The leg.
In the back. Where else?
That was it.
Tell me what else happened. Because I know there's more. know there's more, Joe. You can do it. Tell me what else happened.
I opened the door. And he ran off.
Tell me what else happened. I know you know.
He ran off.
This was between 11:30 and midnight.
Yeah.
You can tell me.
Keep going.
Well, we're getting closer, Joe. Getting closer.
I ran after him. I ran after him.
Did you?
Tell me.
Caught him.
You tell me. This lawyer is important.
This is hard to remember because I don't remember what happened. I'm trying to remember.
Well, we're doing good,
We're
Joe.
moving it. All right, we're here.
You ran out the door,
Tell me
and
what else happened.
you're even more pissed now, right?
Yeah.
And it's raining. Is it raining at this point?
No, it wasn't raining.
Okay. Was it thundering?
It was some thunder.
Lightning? Tell me what else happened.
I got back in the house. Just spanked him some more.
How many times? How many times you spent?
More. Then just went with the coffee table.
Tell me what else happened. Keep going, Joe. Others more. You can do this. We're getting closer, okay? We're moving down the road. But we're not there yet. We're not at the end yet. You can do it. What else happened to baby Chuck? You can do it.
You're seeing it in your mind.
What happened?
Joe, what happened? He runs out the door, you catch him, you bring him back in, you spank him, you're all close to the coffee table.
What happened? What'd you do, Joe? What happened? You tell me. Bear with me.
Alex is a witness, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
He saw everything.
What happened?
And he's scared to death.
What happened? Joe, what'd you do? You can do this.
I let him know.
And then what?
Shut the door. I moved the coffee table
You put it where?
in front of the doors.
Front of the door, so it couldn't be open.
Oh, the doors are already open, but
You moved the coffee table in front of the door.
yeah.
And that was after he ran outside the woods. Caught him, pulled him back in, spanked him.
We got to lock the door.
You said you put him out.
Yeah,
Or
I was trying to. not let him escape, and then he got out a second time.
And you couldn't catch him then, or did you even try to catch him?
You shut the door, you put the table back in front of the door.
Not the back door, but the double doors in the house.
Put the table in front of it,
Yeah,
so it couldn't be opened.
this is a complete accident. I'm so sorry.
Well, so Joe's outside this point, and you lock the doors and move stuff in front of them so they can't be open. I'm here with you, okay?
Look, I'm completely sorry.
I'm here with you.
We know you are, Johnson, but the only way you can
Like,
is tell us.
So what else? What'd you do?
I didn't kill the boy or anything like that.
What'd you do?
I did spank him a lot. And let him outside.
So,
The problem was is that I don't remember what time it was when this happened.
I thought you said it was between 11:30.
Something like, yeah, it was 11:30, 12, because I got up at 11:30, and then for some reason there was a point where I don't remember what happened for like 30 minutes.
But you do remember him spanking him and running outside, you catch him, I mean, you're telling this, you remember all this, right?
So
I
what,
believe, yeah.
so what you just told me, okay, let me make sure I understand. Alex comes and gets you. The baby Joe beat him. Right, you go in, put Alex in bed, tell him don't worry about it. Tell him to get their asses back in bed. You spank baby Joe, right? You go to walk out, he comes back out, and he's laughing.
Yeah.
Then you spank him some more, right?
Yeah.
You tell him to get out. Okay, right? You open the door and tell him to get out.
I want you to know the fingerprints of the lock.
Hold on, I want to go through this, okay? I want to make sure I understand
Right.
exactly what happened.
It may have been subconsciously.
So you open the door and put him out, right? You put him outside. At what point did he run? That time?
He did run that time.
Okay. So you put him out, did you shut the door?
No.
Okay, you left the door open, but you put him outside. How long was he outside?
Not for a few minutes.
Then you brought him back in, spanked him some more.
No.
You brought him back in, yelled at him.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, what happened when you brought him back in? What happened between then and you?
Spanked him, yes, and spanked him some more.
You spanked him some more? And then he took off running?
Yeah.
How far did he run before you caught him? To the road? Did he make it to the road?
He didn't make it to the road. I caught him before he got to the road.
But he was close to the road? Closer to the road than to the house? Okay. Were you barefoot? What were you
I was
wearing?
barefoot, yeah.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing some basketball shorts and a t-shirt,
What was he wearing?
black pajamas with skeleton line.
He was barefoot. When you caught him, he was almost at the road. And did you carry him back in or walk him back in?
I walked him back in.
So you walk him back in. Were you holding on to him?
Yeah.
You get back inside. You spanked him some more.
No.
You spank him.
I yelled at him.
Tell me what else happened.
I didn't kill the boy.
Tell me what else happened.
Okay.
Okay, what happened after that? You spanked him some more?
I went back to bed.
Well, hold on. But what about you put him outside and shut the doors?
Yeah. So,
So you catch him at the road, near the road, you bring him back and everything.
I spanked him.
This was the first time you ran out that. Okay.
All right, so you spanked him, and then you put him back outside?
No. I told him to go back to bed.
And he didn't?
Apparently he did, because he got back out.
Okay, so we got back up, you put him outside,
You said you ran out.
Yeah.
and you shut the
The
door.
first time he did.
What about the second time?
The second time, I don't remember what happened the second time.
You told me you did. You told me what happened.
You shut the door and moved the coffee table. Remember that?
Yeah.
What else happened?
He ran out, and I let him go.
And then he runs out. You had already chased him once, right?
Yeah.
So you let him go the second time. And how far did he run? He was already at the road when you looked out.
Yeah.
Was he on the road?
Yeah.
Was he still running?
It was still running.
Which direction?
It was too dark to see out the road, because with the lights at in the
So
house.
he was already at the road. Was it raining?
No.
You shut the door?
Shut the door.
You shut the door? And you said you moved the coffee table back in front of the door?
Not the front door, but the
The double doors?
double doors.
And you locked the front door?
No.
Is that the one with the lock?
Yeah.
And that's why the lock was on in the toy chest?
Yeah.
And the coffee table was in front of the double doors?
Yeah.
What did you think would happen to little Joe when you just left him out there?
I don't know.
And you went back to bed and you woke up at 5:30 or so?
Yeah, I had realized that I didn't know what was going on the night before. It's really hard to when you black out like that and you don't remember what happened until you have to sit there and think about what happened.
But you remember now.
So Joe, I still think there's something else you gotta tell me about what happened.
I did not kill him.
Why'd you tell him, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong about, did you tell him that he could look in the trunk of your car?
I did, because I thought that he may have opened the car, so that was the weird part. The car door was open slightly.
When was this?
And when I woke up that morning, so this doesn't make any sense to me, because I remember doing something, but the problem was I don't remember what happened. I kind of sort of remember. I'm thinking that's what happened, but I don't really know.
You're remembering what you're telling us. I mean, you're not making that up, right?
And the door was slightly open, the car door, so I figured he may have opened the car door and opened the trunk and got into the trunk. That's why I was saying, hey, can you guys check the trunk of the car to see if he's in there?
What we need to know, John. There's a lot more, okay?
Maybe I blacked out. You're probably right.
Tell me what has happened, Joe.
Joe, if you black out, you don't have a memory, and you don't know that you're lying. But when you know it,
Joe,
And that's the part, I don't know if that's what happened or not. I mean, I'm just speculating it's probably would have happened, or
tell me what's happened.
have you found him?
Tell me what else happened. It's gonna be okay. Tell me what happened.
I just want to know if you guys found him.
Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened.
I don't remember what happened the rest of the night.
What else happened?
If the witness saw that he was in the road,
What else happened?
I didn't do anything else to him. Do you know something about that I don't know?
When did you tell Crystal about this?
I haven't told her
When did you tell Crystal?
about Joe being gone.
About all the stuff you've been telling us.
I've never told her.
When did you tell Crystal?
I haven't told her. I haven't told anybody.
When did you talk to Alex about it?
I didn't tell him about it either.
You didn't have to, he saw him.
Are you suggesting that I killed my son?
I'm asking you when you told Alex about it. When you told Alex about it, because he saw him.
Alex saw what happened, and Alex has been coached to say, what not to say. But he will eventually tell everything he saw.
When did you tell her?
I didn't tell him anything.
You didn't have to because he saw him. When did you talk to Alex about it?
About him not being there,
About it all?
I haven't told him.
When did you tell Alex not to say what he saw?
It's probably when, after I let him out.
And when did you tell Alex?
That if he would tell anybody else, wouldn't beat him. That's what he said, wasn't it?
I believe you. What else?
I told him about that.
What else have you said?
I haven't said anything else that I'm aware of.
What have you told Crystal?
I haven't told her anything.
Can you tell me?
I haven't told her anything.
But you have. You have, Joe. What have you told Crystal?
Yeah, I let him know.
Mm-hmm.
I let him know.
What else did you tell?
I beat him.
than spanking, did you say?
Yeah.
Tell me exactly what you did more than spanking. How'd you beat her?
Fell on the floor,
How many? What else did you do?
spanked him, was on the floor. Countless times.
How else did you beat him?
Fell on a coffee table.
Where did he hit on the coffee table?
Where I hit him on the coffee table.
Where did he hit on the coffee
In
table?
the middle of the coffee table.
When you threw him on it? You were just swinging. Pretty hard punch. You think? Did you lose track of how many times you hit him?
I don't know how many times.
You just kept hitting? Was he crying?
Yeah.
How long do you think that lasted for?
5-10 minutes.
Was he crying pretty much the whole time?
Yeah.
Alex was watching. When did Crystal come out?
I don't remember her coming out.
Well, how did she see? She, you know? You knew she was there, though.
Yeah.
You don't remember coming, but you knew she was there.
I didn't see her though.
The Crystal knew you beat him. Right? And what hand were you beating him with?
Her right hand.
With a closed fist.
Yeah.
Did you hit him with your left hand, closed fist hand?
No.
You held him with your left hand? He was crying pretty loud.
Yeah.
He bleeding from?
His legs.
He was bleeding from his legs? From what?
From her beating him. He landed on the table.
From laying on the table?
Oh, just scratched. He had cut his leg on the table.
He cut his leg on the table and threw
I
him?
didn't see any blood though. When I woke up that morning, I didn't see any blood.
So he was bleeding from his leg, from the table, and you were beating him, closed fist, hitting his body. How many times you hit him in the head?
A couple times.
A couple times? A little more than a couple, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How many times was it?
Several times.
8, 9, 10, probably. Could be. How many times did you hit him in the face?
I don't remember him in the face.
Just in the head? Everywhere?
I may have hit him in the face a few times.
A few times hit him in the face? Where else?
His back.
What else do you hit him with?
Hit him with.
Did you hit him with anything else?
No.
Just your fist?
You threw him on the ground, threw him on the coffee table, on the floor.
Yeah.
At what point did he quit crying?
He never quit.
So he never stopped crying? What made you stop?
When I realized I lost control.
Was he unconscious?
No.
Did he ever lose him? Because when did he lose him? When did he stop responding?
He didn't stop responding.
He kept screaming the whole time. Anything you feel outside? Was he screaming, crying when he was outside?
Yeah, it was,
Pretty loud. And then you shut the door. You told Alex. If you told anybody you beat him too.
yeah,
Have you ever beat Alex like that?
no.
You ever beat Alex like that?
Not like that. I was paying to him.
You beat him though. Right? Close fit, because he knows what it's like, right? Close fist.
No.
So you threw, after you beat him, you threw him outside. After you hit him more than several times, right? In the head.
Yeah.
You threw him outside. You was crying. You locked the door.
No.
What'd you do?
I just walked away.
That's when you went to bed. What else happens at that house? With baby children? Tell me.
That's it.
He wasn't crying when you threw him outside.
No.
He had stopped crying, hadn't he?
Yeah.
He stopped crying inside, didn't he? He died inside, didn't he?
I don't know.
Just wasn't responding. You panicked? You panicked? Where'd you put him? Where'd you take him to? Joe? Put him in your car? Where'd you put him in the car? You can tell me. Where'd you put him in the car?
I'm in prison.
Joe, what I told you. Okay.
I don't remember doing any of this.
Where did you put him in the car?
In the trunk.
You put him in the trunk? Where did you drive to, Joe?
Not on any road.
What? McElhaney Road?
Yeah.
Where on McElhaney Road?
There's a dirt road that goes all the way back there.
Okay. And that's where you left him? You took him out? Who was with you? You tell me, Joe.
Alex.
Alex was with you?
Somebody was with me. I don't know who was with me.
In the car?
The car?
When you took baby Joe? Was Crystal's phone in the car? It was.
Yeah. I believe it was, yeah.
So you took Crystal's car? You took Crystal's phone? Was in the car with you? When you took baby Joe, put him in the trunk, did you wrap him in anything?
No.
You took him, I'm pulling up the map, okay, I want you to show me on the map. You took him to McElhaney Road?
Yeah.
And what'd you do? You got out? You took him out and what'd you do?
I laid him in the field.
In the field.
How far up the road?
I'd say about half a mile.
Put it on satellite, okay, and shoot
Be carried, maybe out, maybe they will be.
it. Here's 70, and there's McElhaney Road, right? Show me on here.
Somewhere around.
Where's the dirt, is that the dirt road?
Yeah, that's the dirt road.
Okay, you turned on the dirt road?
No, this
You-
is,
You went past it? That's Tennessee City Road?
let's see. Yeah, because it turns into a dirt road.
When Cohady Road turns into the dirt road.
Let me see. It- Okay, so all the way down?
Yeah, it turns into a dirt road.
Okay. Back on the road. That looks paved, right?
It feels like a paved road, but it's actually a dirt road.
Okay. And you said it was somewhere around here,
Yeah,
in this field here?
yeah.
How far off the road? Was it, do you remember this curve?
Yeah, somewhere around.
How far out did you walk?
I walked right ways.
Let's see if I can.
Could you take us there?
Yeah,
Need you to take us there?
see if he's there.
We just wanna bring him on.
So here's the deal, I need you to tell me exactly where you are.
Okay.
Alright? Now, when you put them here, let me pull up another, okay? Let me try this. You know how to spell McElhaney?
No.
Okay, alright. Let me go out here. And I respect you for telling me the truth.
Found him, didn't you?
I respect you for telling me the truth about you hitting him, beating him, and him becoming unresponsive in your house and dying in your house. I respect you for telling me. I respect you for telling me that you put me in your car and you drove him. I do respect you for that. I'll shake your hand because I respect you for being a man and for telling me the truth. Okay? Let's work on this, okay?
See if I can put it up on my laptop.
Here's Garner Creek, okay?
Yeah.
That's McElhaney. That's that big curve.
Yeah.
McElhaney. Comes down the big curve. Right, past this.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Let's see, Forest Creek Road. Yeah, I was out in one of those fields.
Okay, let's do this. Man, I'm having, let me do this, I'm going to do street view. You know if that little pond is still there?
No, I don't know.
Is that a dirt road? Oh, that's not a road.
No.
Where does the logging road come out with that line down there?
That's the dirt road. There was some logs over there.
Okay, so that's the road you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And you think it's around here, somewhere in this field?
Yeah.
Is baby Joe still wearing the pajamas?
Yeah.
Okay. Were the pants too?
Yeah.
Did you wrap them in anything?
No.
How did you lay them?
Just on his back.
On his back? Were his eyes open?
No.
His eyes were closed? Did he have any wounds to his face?
Yeah.
He did. Bleeding from his face?
Yeah.
From where?
Right.
On his head?
Cheeks.
On his cheek? How were his hands when you laid them? You crossed them in an X? Is it the same road that you took the detectives to already? Is it further down that road?
A little bit.
Where you stopped there was a lot of mud in the road up ahead, right? You remember that? How far up further from there?
A little bit further.
A little bit further.
I can't believe it.
Joe, you're making this to make it right.
Hey, Joe, does Crystal know he's there?
No.
She doesn't. What, Joe? I couldn't hear you.
What did you say? What did
I couldn't hear you, Joe. You were worried.
you said you were sorry, right?
I know you are. I believe you are. I know you're sorry, Joe. Let me get you some tissues, okay? Can I get you some tissues?
We ran this one with it for us, Joe, so we get to know. That's good. That's good.
My dad's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. Don't take me home. Just send me to him. I want to see him. Take me to the hospital.
Take you to the hospital? Well, you take up one there.
Why? Why? Why?
I don't know, Joe. Things happen. Okay. It's.
I can't live with myself anymore. Just keep it.
We can't do that. We want to get you some help.
Why?
Hey Joe, it's Joe. When you left there from your house, which way did you go? Did you turn back right out of your neighborhood, or out of your driveway, I'm sorry? You turned left out of your driveway, and where'd you go?
Went to the left again.
On 3rd Street? And then to McElhaney, and you took another left?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're driving down McElhaney. When you got out of your car, did you go left, to the left of your car, or to the right of your car?
I went to the left.
Went to the left of your car?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when you took Joe out of the trunk? You took him to the left of your car, into the field? Is there anything around him? A tree or?
It's just a field, it's grassy.
Just a field of grass?
Yeah.
Fence or anything you remember seeing? Did you have to cross a fence or?
No,
Okay.
I don't think I had to go across the fence or anything. I may have.
Okay. I'm just asking. Okay. You need some water? You got some? You got
Yeah, we got this.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I'll
sorry.
get you some more tissues, okay?
Okay. I saw myself yesterday, he's gone. I did this yesterday.
Yesterday?
Not yesterday, but I told Crystal, he's gone.
You told her that?
He's gone. Yeah.
Did she know why?
No.
So you never told her exactly what happened, did you?
No.
Why not?
No, I was afraid that somebody was saying,
Okay.
I need help. I need help. I've been to the hospital several times for something like this. Not for this long. Not for this. Not for this. Why did I kill my son? My only my son. Why? 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 But the problem is,
Joe, I told you we're not judging, okay?
I know.
You okay?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Um, I know you are. Okay, I know you are. What were you wearing when all this happened? First, you were wearing your basketball shorts, and what shirt?
I don't remember the shirt.
What'd you do with the shirt?
I never took it off.
When you got back home, you didn't throw it away, or?
When did you take it off?
I took off my shirt.
You did? I'm asking, is it that shirt?
No. Actually,
You took your shirt, you didn't have a shirt on?
I had a shirt on.
Okay, what shirt was it?
It was a black shirt.
A black shirt, t-shirt?
Yeah.
What basketball shorts were you wearing? Is there only one pair, or are there a lot of pairs? Those are the ones you were wearing?
Yeah.
Have you washed them since?
No.
Okay. What t-shirt?
It was a black shirt that said believe.
Said believe? Did it say anything else? Or just believe?
Just believe. We had a little alien on that had like a Santa Claus.
Okay. An alien that looked like a Santa Claus? Or it was like with the Christmas hat and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Christmas hat alien, said believe.
It said believe. What'd you do with that shirt? Is it in the house now? It's in the house? Have you washed it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why'd you wash it?
I just washed it. I didn't wash it.
You didn't wash it? Okay. And what shoes did you put on?
These.
Those shoes?
I believe so. Wait, no.
I mean, did they get muddy?
There's sunblood on
Do you remember what shoes?
them. I think they were these.
And y'all only have one car?
We have two.
Which
And a
car?
truck.
Which car? So it was the car, do you have a truck?
It's the red. It's a red car. That's my dad's. The silver one is mine, but I don't pay for it. That's not my name.
Which one
And the
did you
green
drive?
truck,
Which one did you drive that night?
the red car.
The red car to take Joey? And where's that red car now?
It's at the house.
It's at the house?
Oh my God.
Did you wipe up any blood at the house?
No,
Is there any blood on the coffee table?
no.
Okay. Chris lived in it?
I don't know.
What have you talked to Alex about this?
I didn't.
What did Alex do when he saw
He was.
what happened to
He was just.
baby Joe?
He was just watching. He didn't do anything. He was just watching.
Does he know that baby Joe's dead?
Yeah.
Alex does. Did he say that?
No.
Did you tell him?
No.
He just saw?
Yeah.
Did he say anything to you about it?
No.
Has he asked you where Baby Joe is?
No.
You just told him if he told anybody about it, she beat him?
Yeah.
Did you tell him after you came back to the house again?
No.
Have you told him since that first time?
No.
Okay. I'm just asking.
No. You know,
I was trying to get every.
I don't know. I'm never going to forgive him for this. Not by anybody. I know you guys have a job to do. I was supposed to start a job Monday.
You don't want to go back home?
I'll go to the hospital
You want to go to the hospital? Why you want to go to the hospital?
so I can get checked in.
For what?
This is the second nervous breakdown I've had last 2 days. Okay.
How far into the field? Was there tall grass or short grass?
Tall.
Tall?
Tall. It was tall grass.
You know how far?
It's not, it's about,
Halfway through maybe?
somewhere around there.
Halfway into the field?
Yeah.
Is there a tree line on the other side?
I know there's trees next to the car, there's trees next to the car, right, and there's the field on the left.
You know that curve right there where that little pond was?
Yeah.
Was your, let's see, let me pull the map. And you said the trees were to the left or to the right?
To the right, and the
Yeah,
field to the left.
right, the field is on the left. Crystal says it'd be in there.
Crystal says what, I'm sorry.
As Crystal said, you know what Crystal was saying?
Hold on 1 second, okay, let me, oh, this is important, okay.
Okay.
So you're saying Crystal doesn't know any of this?
No.
She doesn't know what's going on?
Right here, this curves, right, that curve,
Yeah.
where you said there were trees to the, where was your car facing?
My car is here.
The car wasn't facing
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay, and there were trees to the right,
yeah,
were these trees?
yeah.
And how far down past this curve do you think you were?
I know it wasn't before the trees, so it was somewhere around this area. Right here.
So there's, looks like there's some trees here. You see them?
Yeah,
Was it before those trees?
it was a little bit, it was.
Maybe around here? I don't know what that means. Hold on. 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. How many paces do you think, steps you took?
Maybe 100.
100 steps? Did you play football any
No,
growing up? Football, I mean, like, any way to guess how far?
I didn't play football.
Okay, I'm just trying to,
As far as,
I mean, if you.
like, from your house, like from where your house is to your drive into
Yeah.
to the road,
You
you
think
said,
about that.
That far
Or further?
or further?
Further,
Twice as far, a little further?
a little further than that.
But you didn't cover him up with anything or dig a hole or anything?
No.
Okay.
Here for my safety. Take my jacket
What do you mean?
and my shoes.
Well, just wait for
Hold on. I mean,
You're gonna need
You're
your
safe. You're safe, okay?
Okay.
You think you're gonna hurt yourself?
I've had, when I went to the hospital last time, I attempted suicide.
Okay, so you think you may hurt yourself?
I'm not sure when, but well, I'm not thinking about it right now. I just want to make sure he's found.
But you do remember driving out there,
Yeah,
carrying him out there, though.
yeah.
And Crystal never woke up when he was screaming in the house?
I don't think so.
You never woke up while you were gone?
No.
Okay. Did you look at the clock when you got back in bed, when you got home?
When I got home, I looked at the clock and 30 minutes had passed and I didn't know. I mean,
When you got back home from carrying little Joe out in the field, what did the clock say when you got back in bed?
at 12 o'clock,
Do you have your car keys with you?
I do.
Can I hold it for you? I need to hold it.
Yeah. I didn't wait for any of this to happen.
I told you in the beginning that, think about it, Joe, didn't I tell you that you didn't do this on purpose? That you made a mistake, remember?
What do they do for this,
Well, we can't tell you at this point, okay? But that's, that'll be talked about later on, okay?
I'm sorry.
I know you are, Joe. I know you're sorry. I know you didn't mean for any of this to happen. And
Really hard to remember.
I know it was hard. I know it was really hard for you to tell us, but
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. I need you to do one more thing for me.
What?
I'm gonna need you to come show us where baby Joe is, okay?
Okay. I'll cut my jacket.
You good? I want your jacket, okay? Hey, Joe. You got your jacket?
Yeah.
did you want to take that with you?
Yeah.
phrase, it really shows us, all right?
Mr. Crouch? Ladies and gentlemen, anybody need a recess before we continue with examination? I'd like to finish this witness and then we'll take our break if you're able to do so. All right, thank you.
Judge, at this point, I'm going to move a transcript of the video as the next exhibit.
Would be 162.
Your Honor, for identification purposes, we've just watched the video. However, as the court is aware, a final copy of that compact disc will be moved in at a later time as an exhibit.
Let's go ahead and mark, what we'll show is once, ladies and gentlemen, as I explained, I think at one point, portions of this particular video were muted in order to omit some information that I had held in one of my earlier rulings should not be included for your consideration. There are reasons why I do that, that the rules of evidence and fairness and equity is the reason that I excluded that information. But we're going to go ahead and show that the altered transcript, or rather the altered video, which is going to be more or less, I think, rerun to omit those portions that were then muted, so that if you have to watch this again at some point later on in your deliberations or whatever, it'll be a video that does not contain those sections where there's just a muted. It'll be the actual redacted video. So we'll show that as the redacted video will be shown as Exhibit 163. All right, even though it'll be late.
Agent Boyd, let's go back to the beginning of the interview. When you first encounter Mr. Daniels, what type of approach or interrogation are you going to take with him?
With Mr. Daniels, I had taken an approach of more of a rapport building interview in order to establish a basis of trust. I had not met Mr. Daniels before this, so that was an important foundation to lay initially.
Throughout your questioning of the defendant, did he ask any questions attempting to find information out about the case?
Yes, he did.
How often did that occur?
I'd probably say, I'm guessing anywhere from 7 to 10 different times at least, if not a dozen.
Were you aware that he was doing that?
Yes, I was.
And what was your thought process?
My thought process in that was that it appeared to me that Mr. Daniels was seeking to obtain information that I knew. A lot of times there's just as much interview happening from on the other side of the table as there is on my side, trying to, especially in criminal investigations and interviews, people trying to elicit information, find out what it is that I know so that answers can be crafted accordingly to circumvent some of the gaps in what I know and what I don't know. I definitely saw that many times in my interview with Mr. Daniels.
And I ask you to turn to page 97 of the transcript, please. And Agent Boyd, on line 16, you say, and Joe, I'm just saying we're not telling you everything. That's just a little bit of what we're telling you. There's a lot of stuff and so forth. Are you with me there?
Yes, sir.
What are you getting across to him at that point?
I'm trying to convey to Mr. Daniels that there is information that I know that he's not aware of that I know, and a lot of times there's a confidence that people build up the more times they tell a certain story, especially with deception and lies. The more times those lies are told, the more confident they get in those lies. They believe that people are believing them. They think that those lies are working. And I have found, not only in this interview, but in others, my experience, that when those individuals realize that it's not working necessarily with you, or there's something they don't know that you know, a lot of times that confidence starts to degrade. And again, talking about going back to the rapport building, is that that confidence in their lies starts to degrade, and that allows me an opportunity to continue building trust with that person, so that eventually the goal is for them to let me in on that lie.
And if you would turn to page 105. Mr. Daniels asked you a question on line 8 of page 105.
Yes.
What does he ask you?
Mr. Daniels says, which phone was the one that left the house?
And what was your answer?
I'm here to get the truth of what happened to little Joe. I'm not answering questions. I'm not giving you the answers. I'm not putting things in your head. I'm not going to tell you what it is that I know and what I don't know, because you already know the answers to those questions. You already know.
Is this an example of that back and forth where you may have some information that he wants?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's go back to kind of just a few of the moments in the transcript. If you could turn back one page, page 104. I'm not sure how many minutes we are into the actual interview, but what does the defendant tell you beginning with line 19?
Mr. Daniels says, okay, now when I know they've got the lock and they probably already ran the prints on it, so which I don't, they probably found the key, but I didn't know where the padlock was. I moved the key a little bit, but I did not let him escape the house.
Yeah, let's break that down just a little bit. He says, I know they've got the lock. Who is they?
Law enforcement.
And had law enforcement obtained the lock as part of the evidence?
Yes, sir.
The physical evidence in the case?
Yes, sir.
And was it taken to the laboratory?
Yes,
to your
sir.
knowledge? Okay. And then he says they probably found the key. Do you know if the key was found?
I believe the key was found. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then he says, what does he say on line 23?
I moved the key a little bit, but I did not let him escape the house.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, is this one of the first, or the initiation of him starting to tell what happened that night?
Yes, sir. I believe it's one of the first, if not the first.
He says, I moved the key a little bit, but I did not let him escape the house.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you would turn to page 139. The defendant says, I was half asleep, and you respond by saying what?
I can. I'm reading you right now, Joe, okay? I've been reading you since the first second I met you. What you're doing is you're thinking about what to tell me. You're creating it in your head. You're not recalling it. You're creating it, okay? And you're leaving stuff out and you're trying to tell me. You're trying to find things that will make sense and that will connect. But I'm here to, and I for certain will tell you, that none of this is connecting with the facts that I know, with the truths that I know.
And what were you thinking at this point in the interview, or observing?
I was observing Mr. Daniels' reactions and responses to some of the questions I was asking him. I would ask him certain questions, and sometimes there would be an immediate response, an immediate recall of what was happening. But a lot of times, especially in key questions, when they were in what I determined to be gaps in the story, there were pauses. There were times when he appeared to me to be thinking internally and going over things versus just recalling.
And if you would turn to, excuse me, if you turn to page 146, what do you ask the defendant on line 6?
We know what I know. What we know is that if you could go back right now, you would do it differently.
And what was his answer?
I would.
And then what was his answer or statement on line 14?
When I get angry, I'm going to be honest, there's, and hyphen.
And again on line 17?
Continuing, he says, there's stuff that happens that I don't remember.
Thank you. And if you turn to page 155. What does the defendant tell you on line 6?
I'm sorry, what page?
155, line 6.
Okay, I unlocked the door. I pushed the coffee table out of the way in a weird way. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, and I let him out. I told him to get out. I don't remember doing that.
And what does the defendant tell you on page 159, beginning on line 4?
Line 4?
Yes, sir.
After I yelled at him, I walked over and saw the pee and told them to get their asses in the bed, and I got more angry.
And on line 8?
On line 8, I went to the living room. I unlocked the door. I put the lock in the toy box, and I left the room.
Do you know where the lock was recovered?
Yes, sir.
And where was it recovered?
From the toy box.
Okay. Page 161. What does the defendant tell you on line 17?
Line 17?
Yes, sir.
He was crying, got back in the bed. He got up and started laughing again.
And did you say, tell me what happened?
Yes, sir. Very next. Tell me what happened.
And what was his answer?
And I was still angry with him, so.
Continuing to page 162.
I spanked him again.
All right. And if you would turn to page 165.
Yes, sir.
Line 2, what does the defendant tell you?
Alex is a witness, right?
Was that a statement or a question?
It was worded as a question, but like some of the other questions that he had asked me, I saw it more of a fishing question to see if I knew that or not.
Okay. And then what did he state on line 4?
He saw everything.
And was that him referring to Alex?
Yes, that was a continuation of the statement about Alex, or the question. Alex is a witness, right?
Okay. And what did the defendant tell you on line 12?
Line 12,
Yes, sir.
I let him out.
And on line 14?
I shut the door. I moved the coffee table.
Thank you. And if you turn to page 175. You and Agent Faulkner had a question about the trunk of the car, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And on line 17, what was asked?
On line 17, Agent Faulkner said, why did you tell, correct me if I'm wrong, did you tell them they need to look in the trunk of your car?
And what was the answer?
I did, because I thought that he may have opened the car. So that was the weird part. The car door was open slightly.
Thank you. And if you turn to page 180. Line 1, what did you ask the defendant?
What did you tell Alex?
And what was his response?
That if he would tell anybody else, I was going to beat him. That's what he said, isn't it?
Okay. So at this point, Agent Boyd, what all, best of your recollection, how has the defendant's confession evolved?
To summarize and paraphrase, it has evolved from going to bed, I believe he said around 10:30, or 11:30, going to bed, and then sleeping, getting woken up about Joe Clyde peeing on the floor, telling him, I believe some of the words that were used were calmly, go back to bed, didn't get mad, and that Joseph Daniels went straight back to sleep and didn't wake up again until 5:30. That has then now evolved in several different iterations up until this point of him removing the locks, messing with the key, being very angry at Joe Clyde now for peeing on the floor, moving the coffee table himself.
And telling you where the lock was found?
Yes, and telling me that he put the lock in the toy box.
Okay. And if you go to page 181, on line 1, what was your question to the defendant?
Because you did more than spank him, didn't you?
And what was his answer?
Yeah.
And what did the defendant tell you on line 6?
Line 6, he says, threw him on the floor.
And on line 12?
Threw him on the coffee table.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the blood. It's brought up a couple of times, once by you and maybe once by the defendant or Mr. Faulkner. If you go to page 183, line 21, what was your question to the defendant?
Where was he bleeding from?
Okay. And what was the defendant's answer?
His legs.
And your question?
He was bleeding from his legs.
And continue on with that question and answer, please, on page 184.
Joseph Daniels nods head. I asked from what? He said from me beating him, from landing on the table. I asked from landing on the table. Mr. Daniels just scratched. He had cut his leg on the table. I asked, he cut his leg on the table when you threw him? Mr. Daniels said, I didn't see any blood though.
And on line 12,
didn't see any blood.
okay. So at this point in the questioning of the defendant, has he stated that there was blood all over the coffee table or all over the floor or anywhere in the house?
No, sir. He said he didn't see any blood.
Okay. At some point in the interview, does he talk about seeing additional blood on Joe Clyde Daniels?
He does towards the very end. I know he does.
And if you'll turn to page 196. At the top of the page, you're indicating, I believe, that the defendant is describing the location where he placed Joe Clyde Daniels' body. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, General.
And what does he say on line 2? Or what do you ask on line 2?
On line 2, I asked, okay, and you think it's around here, somewhere in this field?
And is that what's going on in this portion of the interview?
Yes, sir.
And does questioning about bruising and bleeding come up again?
Yes, sir, it does.
And what do you ask the defendant?
I asked him, did he have any bruises to his face?
And his answer?
He said, yeah.
Okay. And
I asked, he did, and I said, bleeding from his face, and Mr. Daniels said, yeah.
All right. Now, when you're asking him those questions, are you referring to bleeding on his face that occurred in the house, or what? What are you asking?
We're discussing when Mr. Daniels placed him in the field and the bleeding that he saw when Joe Clyde when he was placing him in the field.
Okay. And if you would turn to page 199. What does the defendant tell you on line 11?
My dad is going to kill me. He's going to kill me. Don't take me home. Inaudible. I don't want to see him. Take me to a hospital.
Did you pick up anything from the defendant other than that one statement about his feelings towards his dad? Was there any more interaction before or after?
There was comments about he's never going to be forgiven for this, and I believe there may have been some more references to his father.
Okay, thank you. I want to show a couple of photographs on the screen, if you don't mind, please. Agent Boyd, do you recognize the photograph on the screen?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is that?
That is a picture from inside the Daniels residence of one of the laundry machines with the evidence marker 1 and a black T-shirt on top.
Okay. And the photograph that I'm handing you, can you identify that for us, please?
Yes, sir, that's the photograph that's on the screen.
And I'll move that as the next exhibit, please.
164.
Thank you. And Agent Boyd, in the interview with the defendant, did he describe the shirt that he was wearing that night as he killed Joe Clyde Daniels?
Yes, he did.
And tell us the description that he gave you.
He described it as a black T-shirt that said "Believe," and he said that it had an alien wearing a Christmas red Christmas Santa style hat.
Thank you. And can you identify this photograph?
Yes, sir, I can. It's a photograph of the T-shirt that was in the previous photograph we saw, just unfolded. It's a black T-shirt, or dark colored at least from the picture. It says "Believe" on it, and has a picture of an alien holding a Christmas present wearing a Santa hat.
Thank you. And I'll move that as the next exhibit. I believe that'll be 165.
65.
And Agent Boyd, did the defendant tell you what he did with that shirt at home?
Yes, he said he washed it
Okay. And it was recovered where?
in the laundry room.
All right. Thank you. Now, did the defendant tell you what type of shorts he was wearing on the night that he killed Joe Clyde Daniels?
Yes, he said he was wearing red basketball shorts, the ones that he was wearing underneath the pants in the interview.
He told you he was, did he actually make a motion and show you those shorts?
Yes, sir, he showed me the top of them.
And can you identify this photograph?
Yes, sir, I can.
And what is that?
It's a still image from the video of the interview where Mr. Daniels is showing me the red shorts.
Thank you. I'll move that as Exhibit 166.
166.
When the interview was concluded, where did you go?
I myself and other law enforcement officers, investigators, went to the area that Mr. Daniels had indicated when we were looking at maps on my phone.
And what happened when you got to that area?
We were trying to search. It was getting dark. It was already dark at that point when we got out there. We were searching, looking around the best we could, flashlights. We didn't find anything. Rain started to move in, and we ended up calling it for the night due to the weather.
Did you take another statement from the defendant at the end of the night or early the next morning?
Yes, sir, early next morning.
And why did you take a written statement from the defendant?
Because we had been out there searching and not finding anything, we wanted to discuss it some more with him about exactly what he did with Joe Clyde afterwards.
Okay. And Detective or Agent Boyd, can you identify this document, please?
Yes, I can.
And what is that?
This is the typewritten statement of Joseph Daniels from the morning of April 7th, 2018.
And just to keep our timeline correct, you conducted the interview with him on April the 6th.
Yes, sir.
You went out to this area where he had described that he had placed the body of Joe Clyde Daniels.
Yes, sir.
Joe Clyde Daniels' body was not found.
Yes, sir.
And then you took another formal statement from the defendant.
Yes, sir.
And was he reminded of his Miranda rights again?
He was.
And did he sign this statement?
Yes, he did.
And how does a statement like this, did he handwrite a statement, or how is it prepared?
No, sir. The way that a typewritten statement is typically prepared, this one specifically, we talked to the individual. In this case, we spoke to Mr. Daniels. We went back over things we had talked about. We had an exchange. We were typing this statement. Some of it was typed during talking to him. Some of it was typed afterwards. What happened here, and is pretty standard, once we type this up, usually we're speaking about it as we're typing it with him. Once we finish that, we will read it back to him out loud, He has an opportunity to correct anything that's inaccurate, making changes. He can add to it. We can talk about any of those if we need to. And then at that point, we would print it off, let him read it again, providing him another opportunity. So essentially, this is now the third time he has an opportunity to get the statement correct and accurate. He reads over it, and again, we'll talk about anything he wants to change, if anything. And if it's accurate, he will then sign it and date it.
And Agent Boyd, do we see the initials of the defendant near the top of the page?
Yes, sir.
And did you observe him make those initials?
Yes, sir. I had him do that to indicate the beginning of the statement.
Thank you. And did you witness the defendant sign this statement?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is your signature, or did you witness other signatures?
Yes, sir. My signature is on here. Also present for the interview was Detective Trevor Daniel with the Dixon County Sheriff's Office. He signed it as well.
Okay. And would you please read this statement for us?
Yes, sir. Typewritten statement of Joseph Ray Daniels, Saturday, April 7th, 2018, page 1 of 1, JRD initials. My name is Joseph Ray Daniels. I'm speaking to you voluntarily today, and I remember my Miranda rights from earlier. Everything I told you in the past about how I killed my son, baby Joe Clyde Daniels III, is true. Also, that night, I got into my car and drove down McElhaney Road, and I got baby Joe out of the trunk. I had my wife's cell phone in my left hand, using it as a flashlight, and baby Joe was over my right shoulder. I know it was my wife's cell phone because it doesn't have a passcode, and mine was still plugged in at the house charging. Earlier that night, I got woken up by Alex, who told me that baby Joe had peed on the floor. I went in and told them to get their asses in the bed. Baby Joe started laughing, so I beat him. That's when he ran out the front door. Baby Joe ran to the road. I saw a car drive by, and then I ran out and got him back in the house. I beat him some more. That's when I killed baby Joe. I beat him with a closed fist and put his body in the trunk of my car, the red Chevrolet Impala. I went back in to grab a cell phone and got my wife's phone. I took that phone with me when I took baby Joe out to dump his body. I lied to you previously about where I placed baby Joe's body. Earlier I told you it was in a field, and I showed you on the map where the field was along McElhaney Road, where it turns into a dirt road. I'm now telling you the truth about that part. I placed baby Joe's body in the pond right there on the right side of the dirt road where the road curves right there in the area I showed you on the map. I placed baby Joe wearing his pajamas in the pond right there. And then it's signed by Joseph Daniels, dated 4/7/2018, 5:53 a.m., and then witnessed by myself and Trevor Daniels.
Thank you. And Agent Boyd, do you know if the pond that he describes here was searched?
Yes, sir, I do.
And were other ponds in that area also searched?
Yes, many ponds were searched.
I'll make that the next exhibit, please.
67.
Your Honor, if I could have just a second. Agent Boyd, I have two evidence bags that I'm going to ask you to identify one at a time. Okay?
Yes, sir.
From the work study.
Thank you.
You could start with this one. Miss Lewis, do you have any scissors? Agent Boyd may have a pocket knife.
I don't.
Scissors.
Not today. Thanks.
This is what they get in front room of the parking lot with the same you gotta finish the back.
And Agent Boyd, before you cut the tape, can you give us a description of the evidence label, please?
Yes, sir. Marker number 1, T-shirt from Dryer, 1112 Garners Creek Road.
Okay, if you would. If you could display that for the jury, please. And Agent Boyd, while you're there, can you describe the colors that are on the shirt
Yes, sir.
for the record?
The T-shirt is black in color. Red letters, believe. The alien is a bright green in color. The Christmas present and the Santa Claus hat are both red
Thank you.
in color.
And I would ask you to put that back in the evidence bag, and I'll move that as the next exhibit.
All right, welcome to Exhibit 168.
And Agent Boyd, there's one final package on the desk.
Yes, sir.
If you could identify the labeling on that, please.
One pair of red shorts from Joseph Daniels.
Thank you. And if you would open those. And if you could display those for the jury, please. And what's the item that you're holding?
These are the red basketball shorts.
Thank you. And how were those collected from the defendant?
I obtained them when Mr. Daniels was taken to the Dixon County Jail.
And are those the same red shorts that he identified as wearing in the interview that we just witnessed?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I will move those as the next exhibit. I'll pass the witness.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the cross-examination, I think it's probably an appropriate time to take an afternoon recess, so we'll be in recess for 15 minutes.
All rise.
Recording stopped.
Recess 15 minutes.
Miss Leila, will you give me one of those disc covers, please?